Good evening, chat. Hi, happy Wednesdays. Hope you guys are having a good evening so far. I swear to God, guys, going live on Facebook gets more and more complicated every day. I don't know how they make it more difficult every day, but they do. Yeah, as crazy as that, it just gets more difficult. It doesn't matter. I don't understand. So like, I go to Facebook on one computer, on the live page, and it's different from another computer. It has a different session, despite them being on the same page. Like they just start new events instead of basically using the same event for the next one. Dude, there's some really weird streaming choices or development choices that they've done for YouTube Live and Facebook Gaming. And like I said here, like I was trying to go live and it was rejecting my stream key, and it was identical. And then I started a new session on another computer, and then it worked. Which didn't make any sense because you should just be, I have a persistent key, it should just be able to connect no matter what. and I have the option checked for it, but apparently not, and no idea why. And then just like it just started working. So yeah, I guess okay. Alrighty then. Good. Hope you guys are having a good one Thursday though. Tonight, guys, we're going to be doing more Overwatch 2. Maybe doing some, not arena, competitive here. We'll have to see how things go. We will see. Ah, yes, lots of Twitter dramas today. Like, Twitch is, like, fucking imploding on itself. It's amazing. There's streamers with them make millions of dollars, and, like, they're just, like, breaking down. Absolutely ridiculous. No idea. Such is the world we live in, guys. Alrighty. I'm gonna grab a water, guys. We're gonna get started. 1 second. Also, backlight. Alrighty. Yeah, it's like whoever made the Facebook Live platform just doesn't want people to actually stream to it. Yeah, they just don't want people to stream. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna make this new feature, but we don't want anyone to use it. Yeah, I actually don't believe in live streaming at all. I'm doing my day-to-day. Go meta. Oh, bye. That'll happen, I guess. But yeah. Just wouldn't turn on. I pushed the button and it wouldn't go. Alrighty. Let's start things out, guys. See what's going on in the tubes tonight here. Drama all over Twitter. Lots and lots of drama on Twitter. Between Elon Musk making cis making cis a slang term. Because it's oftentimes used as a slang term when people are trying to get under your skin, like sissy, calling someone a sissy. It doesn't matter if they're different words, it's how it's being used. Lo and behold. And sissy has been a term that's been around for quite some time. Obviously not super derogatory, but definitely still a derogatory term. It's been around longer than cisgender has been a term. It's like 70s or something. Like, let's see, as long as I don't bring up something bad. Sissy. Etymology. 18th century. So, it's been around a lot longer than the LGBT movement has been. Yeah, so they knew what they're doing when they made the word in the first place. You can say whatever you want about Latin roots. It's just probably something that someone was smoking a doobie in a back room somewhere and thought it would be clever to do that, and they did it. And lo and behold, people that are literally like their careers are based around being understanding, kind, and considerate, and open-minded, overlook a slang term that is right in line with the term that they want to classify basically the majority of people as. Okay, alrighty. Yeah, I mean, I don't take a huge amount of offense to it, but I perfectly understand why this is offensive, and you should too. I mean, if you are remotely interested in anything that's going on with identity politics, you should basically understand why people might see this as a derogatory term. And just because of the C and they're pronounced identical does not mean they're two completely different terms and no one would ever confuse or use the other one instead of the one that's right? Yeah, no. Anyways, I found it hilarious. Not that I was like leading the charge on that one, but I found it hilarious. Musk loves trolling and doing just fucking weird shit. Yeah. Well, there's that. So, there's just a bunch of random shit happening. There's Titan, which I guess we're going to take a look at because all the kids are looking at it. Everyone's talking about the people floundering in a submarine that we're going to Titanic. So, I believe there's a BBC noise. I believe there's a BBC picture and article on this. For action movies. Like an extraction shooter? Not Riftbreaker. BattleBit is still popping off. And it definitely looks like there's a significant amount of cheating. I was watching one of the blue streamers stream it, or excuse me, purple streamers stream it earlier today. He's getting like 180 but people. 100% cheating in the game now. That's not to be expected. The smaller the game is, the less likely it is to have a good anti-cheat in it, if any anti-cheat at all. And they have 3 developers. I tweeted at any game, so hopefully they'll maybe work something out. I'm all for AI anti-cheat. I think that's the only way forward. Realistically, the only way forward. Where the fuck is my YouTube? There it is. Realistically, the only way forward on anti-cheat. And there's only one startup I know of right now, which is AnyBrain. I'd like to quote more than one so it doesn't seem like I'm shilling for a singular company. But I only know of one, which is AnyBrain. It's funny because people talk about AI anti-cheat being like Valve is using AI anti-cheat in Counter-Strike in like 2018. No, they just called it AI. It wasn't fucking AI. Yeah, because it doesn't fucking work at all. So you can Valve saying they have AI anti-cheat is a little bit laughable. Or any anti-cheat at all, to be perfectly honest. It is one of the easiest anti-cheats to get around. It is Source. Or, VAC. People to see a badge monitor. It's like one of the things I look for when I play Dead by Daylight is to see if people have VAC bans on their profile to dodge them. Because we ran into a significant number of stream snipers back when I played Dead by Daylight. It being a small community, people frowning upon certain behavior like hook camping and tunneling, and me being fucking phenomenal at doing it, I obviously tried to vet or maybe curate the people that I'm playing against, because there was oftentimes a lot of shenanigans that happened in that community, because it's another game that doesn't really have a whole lot of anti-cheat going for it. People did all sorts of weird things. They'd fly around, teleport, get off hooks. You could just win the game, just leave and win the game. Like everything. Anything and everything was possible in that game. Yeah. But BattleBit, hopefully they work something out. I really hope the AI anti-cheat takes off. I do not enjoy talking about cheating, mainly because there is a lot of people that think no one cheats in video games, or it's very rare. It's not. You just type in Overwatch 2 cheats in Google, and you'll get a publicly working one. You'll get a private working one. You'll have access. You get into forums, either public or private. They'll even teach you how to make cheats, DIY cheats on forums, which is that's basically bottom bin. They never used to be that bad, but it's that bad now. So, a reoccurring motif in my stream. You know. But I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening so far. Let's see. So, I mean, all the kids are covering it now. Basically, every news station is talking about this. I don't know exactly why. I guess because it's interesting, because it involves the Titanic. I think they had a little bit like a primer, like a 12-minute video or something. Not this one. 16 minutes. Monkey torturing. Oh my god. I'd like to take a look at that too. B1M is also phenomenal. Great place to go if you're like infrastructure and building and world progress, I guess you could say. Well, you can fix GPU pricing. Thanks, Linus. Now we aren't going to take a look at Travel Geek. Let's take a look at a BBC video real quick. And hopefully BBC will not flag me and tear my channel apart.
But we start with that huge search, the race to save 5 people who are on board.
That would be ridiculous if I got
missing in the North Atlantic,
DMC'd by the big British cock, but, you know.
Earlier, the US Coast Guard said that the vessel may only have 40 hours of breathable air left for the fire.
This is yesterday. I think they have 8 hours, and people are surmising that it takes time to get back to the surface, so they don't even have time left to surface anymore. Although that being said, there's probably ways that they could find to wire oxygen into their
Connecticut. Officials say an
sub.
underwater search vessel has now been launched. Well, the Titanic, which sank in 1912, lies nearly 4,000 meters below the surface.
It's kind
On Sunday,
well, the funny is, like, this is like Chernobyl, guys. Like, just a series of really stupid mistakes. People are memeing about the Logitech controller, which I don't have a problem with. They could have a spare. There could be other ways of controlling it, like a mouse. A mouse and keyboard on the, you know, they could use a mouse and keyboard instead of a gamepad. There's nothing saying that they can't just actually, you know, find other ways of controlling it. That's not a problem. Something that's a problem is they don't have a fucking locator beacon. How can you be in a submarine and have no locator beacon?
This was filmed by the BBC last year.
They're talking about how they, like, it was lost once and they thought about putting it on, and then I guess they just didn't. Why?
The sub then plunges into the ocean's
I don't know. Like, these are, you know, arguably more intelligent people than the Twitter folks, right? The Twitter people? But
and his son,
I don't know. Like, a locator beacon on a sub is kind of a big deal, right? Especially a small little DIY one, right? Yeah, I don't know.
Here he is in a 2022
cheats,
CBS
yep.
documentary.
That's the way the world goes.
Operated via a games
Oh, I need to turn off. Yeah, people were making fun of it for a Logitech controller. I have no problems with that. And, like, it's kind of weird because one of the things I like about Twitter is an absolute cesspool. It has some of the really coolest people you can talk to in the world and some of the shittiest people to talk to in the world. It's just the way it goes. Twitter is all over the place, which is one of the reasons I actually kind of like engaging on it. You have to have really, really thick skin to engage on Twitter because the kind of blowback you'll get, oftentimes, it doesn't matter what you say. You'll always get blowback no matter what, from one side, left, right, up, down, all over the way, diagonals, 6 dimensions, coming out of fucking time and space. You know, it comes at you from every direction. But like you can engage with some really cool people, and you know, allegedly there's like they're talking about the controller and them using a Logitech controller, which once again I don't have a problem with. And there's a guy that was talking about how they use Xbox controllers all the time in the military, which actually makes sense. They're very intuitive devices. They're just designed as a way for you to input motor controls from yourself, which they're designed for, right, into a virtual environment, in this case controlling sub. They work really well for what they do. It makes perfect sense, but some people don't really like it, so they're like, oh my god, a Logitech controller, that's terrible.
I've been speaking to described the search as like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Because they don't have a locator beacon.
Is roughly about the size of Connecticut. As we continue on with the search,
how do they have a locator beacon?
To be able to search under the water as well.
The sub was towed out to sea from
Let's see.
Newfoundland
Titan
before arriving
locator
at the wreck
beacon.
site on Sunday. It then began its dive in coordination with a mother ship, the Polar Prince. Once a vessel goes below 1,000
no
meters,
emergency distress
it will be in darkness, no light.
What?
Further down.
I don't of anything you could fault this for. Why don't they have a locator beacon? Was the subscription too expensive? There's like 250,000 per seat or something like that.
Is the Titanic wreck, 3,800 meters under the North Atlantic. Mike Reese is one of the few people who've made the trip before. He describes reaching the bottom of the ocean.
When you touch bottom, you don't really know where you are. And again, the compass immediately stopped working and was just spinning around. And so we had to flank.
Yeah, it was just like the biggest faux pas. Just like looking at a list, their biggest faux pas.
The Titanic was
just
somewhere there, but it is so pitch dark.
In the sea's murkiest reaches, this is what people pay nearly £200,000 to see. OceanGate Expeditions says it's getting help from government agencies and deep-sea companies, and it's praying for the crew's safe return. Jessica.
I mean, at this point, they literally could cruise in, like, the UK or the US could cruise in one of their subs and probably find this with sonar pretty easily. Actually, how deep can subs go? The U.S. like military subs. So I think the trench that the Titanic in is like 2.5 feet, 2.5 miles down. How deep is the Titanic sunk? 12,000 feet. I think that's 2.5 miles. Let's see. U.S. naval submarines. Let's do some Googling, guys. Current naval submarines. Current class naval submarines. Los Angeles, Seawolf. Yeah. And obviously they probably wouldn't send a ballistic submarine over there. I mean, this is like a good guy thing too. Like if they go and save people, like you get to tout the flag America while bringing people to the surface, right? Isn't that like a good, like, why weren't they? This is like a PR opportunity. This is a PR opportunity for like the U.S. government. Let's see, 29 Commission, Los Angeles. Maximum depth. Oh, maybe this is a lot deeper. Maybe they can't. I know, obviously, they have, like, the U.S. Navy has, like, deep-sea submarines, too, for, like, expeditions, exploration, or scientific purposes, but just looking like a generic sub. Relatively generic sub. Test depth, 1,400 feet. So I think this is, like, half the depth that it needs to go. 12,000 feet, not even close. Max depth is test depth or not? Out of curiosity here. So 1,400 feet isn't anywhere close. I assume test depth is not running depth, but max depth. 800 feet. It's supposed to be an older. 1976. Feet. 1989. 2005. 800 feet. 1,000. $1,680. 600. U.S. Navy Deep Sea. Huh. U.S. Navy sends salvage system. Flyaway deep ocean salvage system. I think these are just vessels that go as deep as they can, not necessarily that they're operable or even do anything useful. Well, if they sent that, that probably means that that's what they should send. Curve 21 Rove. Probably a drone. I mean, it kind of could be useful, but probably not. You need to have something with like sonar, so it's capable of finding, which is probably what they sent. I haven't heard anything about this in the news, which is curious. Deep sea rescues have a mixed track record? No shit. Guys, if there's aliens, the perfect place to hide if you're fucking aliens is literally in the ocean, because we're blind as a bat down there. Literally and figuratively, because there you can't see anything, and we use sonar, which is echolocation, to find basically everything down there. They might use things like LiDAR now too, I'm not exactly sure. And sonar obviously being the go-to. Where did I see it? Flyaway deep ocean salvage system. Fat-ass. They're sending the fat-ass, guys. The fat-ass? I can totally understand how they pronounce it internally, as is the military's usual go-to. Is there a wiki article? No. Oh, It's already on. There's already a Wikipedia article, and it's already on it. So they responded really late, 2 days later. I mean, that's probably after it became apparent they don't have a beacon. They don't have a rescue beacon.
Parker,
So,
BBC News.
this is a lot deeper than basically a normal military submarine goes. So as I was looking for.
Coast Guard District has been speaking about the latest search efforts and his team's plans for the next 24 hours.
They lifted it to St. John's, though there are no ships capable of carrying it to the shipwreck.
5 people on board, along with providing an update on current search efforts and plans for the next 24 hours.
Oh, geez.
On behalf of all
Officials
the men
estimate
and
it take
women
around 24 hours to
of
weld the
United
Fat
States
House
Coast Guard
system
and
to
our
the
search
deck of a
partners,
carrier ship before it
we
can
offer
set
our most
sail.
heartfelt thoughts and prayers for the 5 crew members, their families, and their loved ones. Our crews are working around the clock to ensure that we are doing everything possible to locate the Titan and the 5 crew members. Yesterday, we stood up a unified command consisting of expertise from the United States Coast Guard, the United States Navy, Canadian Armed Forces and Coast Guard, and the Titan's parent company, Ocean Gate Expedition.
How many
This
pictures?
is a complex search effort which requires multiple agencies with subject matter expertise.
Oh, it's like a whole rig. I thought this was like a submarine or something.
The role of search and rescue mission coordinator. We do not have
It's like a whole
the
system
necessary
they...
expertise and equipment.
It's like a whole system they attached to a ship. Look at that. I mean, that's what they sent, but they probably, you know,
In a search of this nature.
they need something to connect the
unified
dots
command
between there.
brings that expertise and additional capability together to maximize effort in solving this very complex problem.
So how will it be solved? Let's talk to my colleague Cole Nassman, who's in Boston for us now.
This is from
And
yesterday,
Cole, we heard
once
there
again.
from
We didn't watch it
the
yesterday 'cause I was
search
like,
and
eh.
rescue teams. The
But
first
might-
part is
eh,
simply
might as well.
locating this vessel before they can even get into the logistics of how they might be able to recover it and the 5 people on board.
Yeah, I guess the best way to describe this is kind of a 2-step process. The first step could be one of the most difficult, and that's simply finding the vessel. Where is it? It could be at the very bottom of the ocean. It could be floating somehow at the top. It might have submerged on its own. The second part will be even more difficult, and that's the very technical and
Times
very
article on it already.
treacherous and
Everyone,
difficult
literally everyone's reporting on it. It must be a slow news day.
operation that
Like
will
everyone
take
just picked
place,
this up.
because there are very few vessels that are
Titanic,
capable of traveling to
missing
the depths of
billionaires
the
or
ocean.
millionaires.
We're talking about some 2.5 miles below the surface. That is a very long way. The typical submarine
Clock
that you
running
might think of
down.
only goes a few hundred meters deep, and we're talking about thousands of meters deep. I just want to set the scene for you. Where we are is Boston. We're about 900 miles away from the site of the shipwreck of the Titanic, and that's where we believe that submersible, the Titan, is located. This is what the U.S. Navy is calling its unified command. So they're bringing together communications between the Coast Guard, so between the Coast Guard.
It's kind of a
and the US
curious
Navy,
test of how
as well
fast,
as
like,
Canadian
you
officials.
can respond to an
You heard me
event like an
mention there,
emergency
this is an
too,
important
right?
point that the U.S. Coast Guard simply doesn't have the knowledge or the
Yeah.
equipment.
I mean, it has to be
carry
the
out
Navy.
Search and rescue mission, and that is why
Coast
we're
Guard's
seeing
like
such an
rescuing people on
international
boats and
effort now,
patrolling the
bringing in
coastline. They
various
can't do this sort of
countries.
thing.
We have equipment on the way from France. We've heard from Canada and the U.S. as well. In addition, commercial agencies, commercial vessels, they're on the scene as well. And that's because this is such a difficult operation. It's very far away from the coastline, and it's such a deep site as well that this is going to be all hands on deck. And as we heard during the press conference, this really is a full court press. That's how they're describing it.
Yeah, and everything you've outlined there, Cole, suggests it takes time. The logistics that need to now fall into place for this search and rescue to really get underway.
That's a big PR opportunity,
Yet,
guys.
at the same
You missed
time, we
out.
are told that
I mean, they
there are
sent
just
something at
40
least. That's
hours
a
left
thing,
of
right?
breathable air on this vessel. The clock is ticking.
The clock is ticking, and time is really the most precious resource right now. This was a submersible that's not designed to spend days or weeks underneath the surface of the ocean like a submarine would. We believe it has about 96 hours, so 4 days worth of oxygen on board. Once that runs out, we're not sure what might happen, but there is potentially hope that it could last a bit longer than that. But about 4 days and
I mean, if you're down there, you're probably
last.
figuring
So
out ways
time
to
is of
ration
the essence
oxygen.
if they want to be able to reach the vessel in time. And there's one interesting note as well, that even if this submersible had come up to the surface and is waiting for a rescue craft to reach it, they're not able to open the submersible from the inside. And hearing some reports from people that have been on this craft before, from a CBS reporter as well, that this is something that can only be opened from the outside. There's 17 bolts, and that is simply because you want to make this as watertight as possible, especially at those depths. So whether it's below the ocean, whether it's above the ocean, this vessel needs to be found in order for those 5 people that are on board to be rescued.
For now, Carl, thank you. That's Cole Nassman there, live in Boston for us. Let's speak to David Gallo, who is an American oceanographer and a deep-sea explorer. He co-led an exploration of the Titanic in 2010 and co-led the successful international effort to locate the wreck site of Air France Flight 447. Thank you, David, for being with us.
Is that a dog?
You must plan
Cat?
for things like this happening. I guess you hope, you pray that you will never...
We don't care about David, we care about his
need
animal.
to make a rescue of this sort. But what are the preparations for an emergency of this kind?
Very interesting that you say that, because I think in this, it's a very small community, the deep ocean community, and I think that we've all thought that this is going to happen someday. And for decades, we've gotten away with nothing happening like this. But we did know it would happen, and
you're gonna cautionary tale us, guys? He might.
There was no preparation for stuff. No one ever. Really,
I mean,
there's no policies, no one on call, no.
Just maybe, just throwing this out here, guys. Just maybe, when you are putting a needle into a haystack, you should attach an emergency distress beacon to it. Just putting this out there. You know, I don't think this is a hindsight as much as just sight sort of thing. If I was sending a needle into a haystack, I'd be like, hey, is there an easy way we can find the needle if we lose it, right? Yeah, like a magnet, like an emergency distress beacon. Just kind of throwing that out there. Like, are they really expensive or what? Like, was they, like, they didn't want to pay for the Spotify subscription or something? I mean, like, what? Why?
What do we do if?
Why?
Now, there is
like a Logitech controller aside, you know, it's not like they're going to be able to do much even if they open the sub up, because rescue parties are definitely going to be there.
Hopefully they're suitable, and in this case they are.
You know, whatever, but
some of the
no emergency distress beacon. Why?
Tools that you need. But in terms of the actual technique and how do you use all those, it's really not easy to know that until you know a lot about, you know, where was the submarine last seen. I think we know that.
I mean, that's
what are the
really
conditions?
not even an elephant in the room. It's just kind of
it's
there.
very difficult to say this is the order.
All the memeing I've seen about the controller, I've only seen a handful of posts about the emergency distress beacon.
Having an armada of vessels on the way is not always the best thing to do. So there's a lot that we could do better in the future, but this whole thing right now is incredibly sad. And one more.
Oh, it's a dog hole.
Those things you mentioned, the Titanic expedition that I co-led.
Move this side a little bit.
Air France, finding the Air France plane. Those were all done with P.H. Nargile, who's sadly on board the expedition.
It doesn't have 40 hours of oxygen left, guys. This is from yesterday.
And so this is especially bitter for a lot of us. Our prayers and hearts go out to all the families of the victims. And but in this case, you know, I've got now I've got a personal stake in this too, and that PH is involved.
Yes, I wanted to ask that. You've described Paul Henry as one of your closest colleagues, and you've touched there on the diving community, a very small community, particularly in that part of the world. Many of you know each other, so it is a very worrying time for anyone involved in it. Describe to me, if you will, a little bit about the descent, because it's very difficult for people who are not familiar with this sort of thing to get their head around quite how
they got a
deep
longer
it is
tour than they
where
hoped
the
for.
Titanic lies on the bottom of the ocean. And we often say, don't we, that we know more about space than we do about the bottom of our own oceans, such as the depth and
If
the
you're aliens,
of getting
if you're
out.
aliens, you literally just hide in a trench and we'd never see you. Maybe you'd run, makes you run, maybe a submarine ran into some of them too, like, you know, there's some of the submarines get like hit underground mountains.
Highest mountain peaks,
Yeah.
deepest and longest
Just hit an
valleys,
alien.
underwater
Shit that
rivers,
happens.
underwater waterfalls, underwater lakes. So it's not a big blue fishbowl. And any expedition that takes you deep into the ocean, it's almost like going to a totally different planet. You at the surface, you have that lovely color blue that we're all familiar with of the shallow ocean, and then you begin the dive. You pass through that blue into medium blue, deep blue, then dark blue, and then for 2 hours, it's about 2.5 hour trip altogether, but about 2 of those, it's in perfectly pitch black, and up on top we call it the twilight zone, that transition from blue to deep blue, but the rest of it is the midnight zone, and no light has
Not the
ever been
void?
there.
They
Someone's
probably
never been
tossed
there,
around
and
the
it's
term
very
the void for a while, and they're like,
So,
yeah, nah.
by the time you get to the bottom, you realize you're in a totally different space. And in the earlier comments, you heard that you could be a meter or 5 meters from the Titanic and never know that it's right there because it's that dark. And
I can only imagine how much better this has gotten with LED lighting, mind you. Because lighting in general used to be very difficult, like high wattage, right? But now LEDs are, and it's almost like a 40-fold increase, like a maybe 10-fold increase in lumens compared to the same amount of wattage, right? A 100-watt light bulb, you're getting 8 watts, 12 watts maybe? Yeah, so maybe it's 10-to-1 ratio now between the amount of lumens it produces, effective lumens, compared to the light it gives off, which is, if you've ever seen a 100-watt LED light, guys, like an actual 100-watt LED light, yeah, it is incredibly bright. 400 watts is insanely bright. Like, you can't look at it bright.
People think. I think a lot of people feel that it's just a dive to a deeper place, but it's not. You're leaving the world that we know, the familiar world, behind and entering this very unfamiliar world. Even Titanic, that's been visited many, many times, where we find something new almost every expedition to Titanic.
It really is fascinating to hear you describe it in those terms, and it really gives you a sense of what those rescue efforts will be up against right now. And David, there are some reports of an emergency ping, an alert that may have come from the vessel. And I guess at this point, we don't know whether that was generated by those on board or it was done automatically. And if anything, that just reinforces the idea of quite how remote and quite how isolated those people may feel right now. There is no radio connection. You can't just radio back to the ship above. Talk to me about the difficulty of communicating with a vessel at such depths.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't, there's no radio waves, as I said, so you have to use sound, and you can do that, but the bandwidth, if you want to call it that way, you certainly can't have a conversation more than to say, okay, not okay, here we are, that kind of thing.
Sounds like a job for email. Which actually might be what it is. It might just be, I believe they have like texts or something they can send back and forth.
We're in trouble. The idea that there's a ping, I lived through the Malaysian Air incident, that year-long trying to find the Malaysian Air, and there's so many rumors about, and there were pings that we know we've got it, and tomorrow we're going to have it, boy, we hear the ping, and it was not from the aircraft at all. So I'm careful to look at those. You can't help but not pay attention to those because it might be true, and I think you have to check that out. But I don't know if there was a ping, where it would have come from, if the sub had that ability to send out a ping. Don't know.
David, I'm really grateful for you talking to us tonight.
Cool.
I know this is very difficult for all those.
Not cool, but interesting.
Or
Let's go with interesting rather than cool.
So
interesting.
We really do hope that there is some good news that we can report for everyone involved.
This PR opportunity for the Navy. I guess they kind of tried, but they didn't try hard enough, and it was 2 days too late. So, like I said, it's kind of a like all hands on deck sort of scenario where you can figure out how fast they can react to it, right? And then Like, that would have been a huge huge PR boost for the Navy. And we live in kind of a time where in the U.S., there's like parts of the political parties that kind of look down on the armed forces, even though, you know, keeping the country safe so we don't get invaded, you know, stuff like that. Patriotism, America, whatever. But definitely something they could use. And they sent their GLaDOS or whatever it was, but apparently that's it. That's what they talked about, at least. So, oh well. Moving on, guys. Let's take a look at one more here, and then we're gonna move on to the Reddits. And let's take a look. I like Critical Drinker, so let's see what this is about. This is a genre, I believe.
One of the most pleasant surprises to come out of 2020 was Extraction, a refreshingly no-nonsense, violent, action-packed movie about a big burly mercenary ploughing his way through dozens of disposable bad guys in a series of long-take action
John Wick?
sequences while fighting to rescue a kid from an Indian drug lord. It was the kind of simple, unpretentious, one-man army scenario that formed the basis of pretty much every 1980s action flick ever made. And in a time of formulaic, overblown superhero movies and dreary remakes, it was a neat little throwback to a simpler, more fun and carefree age of filmmaking. In fact, it was the movie that actually spawned the idea of the extra shots reviews on my second channel, so nice one, Extraction. So needless to say, I was excited at the prospect of a sequel, especially now when all those problems and gripes I had about modern movies are like 10 times worse than they were back in 2020. But then
Yeah,
again,
it's only gotten worse. That started with like about Avengers. Is when things started getting very much inserted with political agenda in lieu of plot and storyline. There's nothing wrong. We've talked about this before. There's nothing wrong if you want to kind of give like a overarching point to, you know, destroying the trees is bad, save the planet, you know, whatever over the top of your film. But it's another thing if you literally just drill in. It's like being on a soapbox and listening to someone just scream at you and whatever political agenda they want to, whatever side it is. Just sitting on that, you know, it's not really enjoyable. And, you know, like people faulted, like, let's say the new Avatar movie, the second Avatar movie, talked about environmentalism and PETA because there was an anti-whaling segment in it, right? Did you really care that it was an anti-whaling segment? Or were they just like railing that in your brain? You're just like, oh my God, this is so terrible. Was it there? Yeah. Was it the entire movie? No. And was it still an enjoyable movie? Yes. So, like, there's ways of doing stuff without just sacrificing your entire movie of doing so. And for some strange reason, people that are going into film and making this stuff now, or at least are in charge of it, are just driving it into people because that's what they personally want. Like, you just want to sit there and be miserable for 2 hours and, yeah, and guess change the world, but then didn't actually make a movie, which is what you're supposed to do in the first place. Very weird.
Oh, yeah. Extraction 2 is exactly what I was looking for in a sequel like this. A slicker and more refined product that improves on the spectacle and action of its predecessor, while
They tried
still
to John
maintaining
Wick
the core elements that made it so effective in the first place.
Oh my God!
I mean, it's not exactly complex or thought-provoking. It doesn't delve into the mysteries of the human experience or provide deep insight into the world
the fuck
we
was
live
that?
in today, and it absolutely doesn't give a shit about the message. And that is just fine by me, because I don't need or want it to do any
I have
of those
alerts?
things. What I do want to see is tough,
Since
cruel,
when?
stoic heroes inflicting massive
have
amounts
alerts for
of destruction
Twitch.
and violence on the world around them, and that is exactly what we get. So let's dive right in, shall we? The movie once again focuses on Tyler Rake, an Australian Special Forces operative turned mercenary. The last time we saw him, he wasn't exactly
Have to
looking
check.
his best after being shot, stabbed, and blown up multiple
I think that's
times,
just
and even
because
thrown off a fucking bridge at the end of the movie. Nothing that a quick rescue by his partner Nick and a 30-second training montage can't put right, though.
I have it
And
connected
after
to
a period of
YouTube, but I don't think
recuperation,
Streamlabs
Tyler's
has
ready to
support
get back
for
in the
Kick
fight,
yet.
which is just as well, really, because before you can say
Facebook.
convenient plot event, he's approached by Idris Elba to rescue his former
Thanks for the like,
sister-in-law and her two
Justin
children from a
Georgie.
prison in Georgia, where they're being held in custody with her abusive warlord husbands. Needless to say, Tyler's up for a good brawl and joins forces with Nick and her brother Yaz to break her out. Of course, nothing's ever simple in a film like this, and within about 2 minutes of making entry, Tyler and his crew are caught up in a full-scale war against the prison guards, the rioting inmates, local police and soldiers, choppers, and the Georgian mafia. And leading the hunt for them is Zurab, a ruthless Georgian crime boss out to avenge the death of his brother. And believe me, he'll stop at absolutely nothing to get what he wants. Just like its predecessor, or Nobody, or Sisu, Extraction 2 is what I can best describe as a hamburger movie. A simple, honest, unfussy kind of film that knows exactly what's expected of it, doesn't aspire to anything fancy or pretentious, and ultimately leaves you feeling pretty satisfied by the ends. The action sequences are fun, inventive, energetic, and beautifully violent. I mean, make no mistake, this is
Exactly
a
like John
mature
Wick.
action film intended for adults.
So something that he kind of covered here, I'm like half listening here while I'm trying to figure this out. Apparently I have alerts I didn't even set up. Something I didn't like that he kind of covered here lightly is the long format. So long format is, if you guys didn't notice in movies, it's where they take a shot and then the angle changes. That's usually where they have a format change. And during that format change, actors can rehearse their lines, they can get into character, they can have their makeup touched up. Long format takes a lot more effort, and as such is more prone to error too, and it takes a lot more work, to be perfectly honest, to make it turn out so well. But that's also why it makes it very impressive when you see long shots.
Not some bland, watered-down, neutered piece of corporate trash trying to appeal to every demographic that's ever existed, and probably starring everyone's safe bet, The Rock. The first movie was already pretty impressive with its long take and technically demanding set pieces, but Extraction 2 takes it to the next level with some genuinely awesome bits of fight choreography that use CGI sparingly to complement the practical action, not in some weird attempt to supplant it.
So, I don't think CG is bad. I'm a personal opinion, I don't think CGI is bad. What is bad is what's currently happening with CGI, where they just seem to be making it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, or the people that are making it are just getting worse. I don't know which direction it's going right now. But there's a lot of really bad CGI nowadays. The Flash, if you guys have seen some of the clips from The Flash, I haven't watched the movie. They're bad. They literally look like a video game from the 2000s. Some of them are really, really, really bad. And it seems like even though CGI is much more accessible, it is cheaper now, and it can be done much better. It seems like it's only be done worse, which isn't the way that it should be going. And very weird, which, makes more traditional movie shooting, where they just use live action stunts and filmography just more enticing, because it's reinforcing the idea that CGI is bad. Well, I don't think CGI is bad, especially when it's used for like a backdrop or interactions that are otherwise outside the ordinary, but you still have some sort of meaningful interactions between characters. Like, for instance, in not The Mandalorian was good. Pedro Pascal is just good in general, but the Mandalorian, for instance, the Grogu is actually a Muppet, right? He's actually a puppet, just like the original Yoda was, instead of him being completely CGI, which actually works out pretty good. And puppetry probably could actually even improve nowadays, but it hasn't, because it kind of, CGI took over and then it lost wind. But, there's opportunities for other arts to become better too. But I don't think CGI is terrible in any way, shape, or form.
To be the almost 20-minute prison break sequence that manages to maintain an almost constant tempo of action and destruction, to the point where you feel almost as exhausted and burned out as the characters by the ends. But there's also plenty of other smaller set pieces peppered throughout the film. And honestly, I can't begin to tell you how much more gripping and entertaining it is to watch a human man fight his way through the middle of a prison riot, knowing how much rehearsal and prep work must have gone into these scenes, compared to some headache-inducing CGI shitfest that has all the artistic merit of a blurry photograph of the Mona Lisa. The characters are well defined, understated, and portrayed by capable actors who know what they're doing. Hemsworth is clearly enjoying the chance to play an actual serious role for a change, instead of a bumbling cartoon clown directed by a 47-year-old child. It's kind of interesting how a lot of former MCU actors seem to be making the switch over to mature action movies, some more successful.
It's fucking weird. I'm completely burned out. We've talked about this before. I'm completely burned out on comic book movies / TV shows. Unless they're really, really good, they're just bad. It's kind of weird, because like the original take on comic book movies is like, if you guys remember maybe you guys are too young, but the original Batman movies that came out, the live action ones, were horrible. They were absolutely horrible. And they, it's right around 2000 where I think it was Batman Returns, where they actually tried to make it good with, what's his name? Batman movies, live action. Like, they went through this renaissance in, like, the 2000s. They went through this renaissance and became much, much better. Let's see. Some of the original ones with, like, Mr. Freeze as Arnold. Oh, jeez. Batman Begins. There we go. Like, they set Christopher Nolan, they set to reset it, and they did a really good job, and then it took off, and then became better and better, and then they just tore it back down. It's like it went up, and then it went down. And now we're back to kind of these Joker comic book movies that aren't even worth taking a look at, let alone watching, like we were prior to, like, Batman Begins with, like, Joker and Batman for... It's just... Yep. There's the Joker. Where's Mr. Freeze? Batman Returns, I think, is with Mr. Freeze. Uh-huh. Like, we went full circle, or maybe wavelength here.
First movie, Tyler's a physical powerhouse who fights like a machine and absolutely refuses to quit no matter how much punishment he takes. He's a totally hard bastard that actually looks like he can handle himself in a fight, but there's also an emotional depth to his character that gradually reveals how he became the man he is today. It's not exactly deep or introspective, but it's enough to keep him grounded and human. He's well balanced out by
a little bit more than his dog dying.
Who's smart, capable, and loyal, and clearly not afraid to get her hands dirty, but never really overshadows or belittles him. You never get the sense that the filmmakers are trying to push another generic, strong female character.
Mary Sue? What?
Outperform the boys just
to
score some cheap.
Some of the arguments I've seen about Ray not being a Mary Sue are they go to great lengths to try and perpetuate her character as being this very, very deep, understanding, well trained like a Luke Skywalker character. She wasn't.
Social media, she's tough and
there wasn't even a villain. Like, Kylo Ren was just like a crying child. He couldn't even beat Rey.
And stronger than her. Holy shit! A movie with a strong, capable, dangerous, and unapologetically masculine male lead, backed up by a likable and realistically powerful female partner who doesn't exist solely to mock and deconstruct him. A movie that doesn't feel the need to throw in quippy Joss Whedon dialogue every 30 seconds or undercut every dramatic scene with ironic, self-deprecating postmodernist humor. A movie that gleefully serves up bucket loads of guns, explosions,
John Wick?
car chases, and brutal fistfights.
I heard the newest John Wick movie's pretty good. I haven't watched it yet.
Violence. A movie that actually understands and respects its target audience and gives them exactly what they want. By George, if this kind of craziness were to spread through the rest of Hollywood, maybe they wouldn't be staring down the barrel of a summer of flops and disappointments. If I had to level any criticisms at Extraction 2, I'd say that the family drama stuff with Tyler's sister-in-law can start to drag at times because we don't get to know those characters well enough to really get invested in them. It doesn't exactly ruin the film, and there's definitely times when even I welcomed a reprieve from all the action scenes, but I think it is one of the weaker aspects of the movie. Honestly, it's a real shame this movie never got a theatrical release, because compared to the other bilge that's coming out this year, I think it would find itself with a pretty healthy audience. Either way, for me, movies like this are a sign that the times are very much changing in Hollywood, with the...
I'd agree. This reminds me a lot of, well, putting aside John Wick 3, remember when the new Maverick came out and just, like, topped the charts? Because people just wanted kind of like a generic, normal action movie, and this probably would have done the same thing. It probably should have been released in theaters.
The bloated, oversaturated, and massively expensive superhero genre, now in its messy and embarrassing death throes, the field is very much open for smaller, more grounded and mature action films like this to make a major comeback.
Comic books can be mature, guys. They can.
If a taste of what's to come, then sign me up, because I'm fucking ready for it.
Yeah, I heard that. Like I said, I heard the third John Wick movie is pretty good. I like Critical Drinker's take on stuff. Tends to be controversial. Luckily, he's not in the U.S. But yeah, generally discusses mainly the not hurting points, but the delicate bits that a lot of people can't talk about in the U.S. as far as like if you're mainstream media, because you'll just they'll come after you. They'll come after you. They'll come after all your dogs. They'll come after Nick Merckx, and then a bunch of drama will pop up on Twitch, and just, yeah. But Yeah, it's like John Wick. The third John Wick movie was supposed to be pretty good. I still haven't watched it yet, and I heard this, like, which is rare because John Wick was kind of a meme, right? The whole John Wick franchise is kind of a meme because someone kills the guy's dog and he goes on a rampage. But that's honestly, action movies are really, it's action porn. That's what people are after. They want combat scenes like that, and kind of, it's like shonen for grown-ups. So if you guys know what shonen anime is, it's anime, so Japanese animation. It's made for a younger audience with very easy to parse morals, right versus wrong. There's a thing that we're gonna set out and we're gonna do, like finding One Piece, friendship, family, all the big things going out there. Villains are kind of laughable, but looming at the same time, and there's a power curve that they build up and overcome, which is the kind of the meme of Dragon Ball Z, right? They basically perfected the formula. But it's the same thing with like action movies. You just want something that's very straightforward to the point, and it doesn't need to have like an in-depth message. It can have one, like I mentioned, Avatar 2 had like the environmentalist aspect to it, and like the PETA whaling's bad, right? They had like the whaling segment in it. You could draw parallels there because they're smart, intelligent creatures, and we're harvesting them for, I think there's their brain juice, if I remember right. They're harvesting their brain juice. Just okay, it's there, but at the same time, it didn't really feel like that was the core of the movie. You were just watching because PETA wants you to stop whaling, right? And a lot of modern movies they're an awful lot like you're just listening to someone's political agenda, and that's it. There's no movie. There's no heart and soul to the movie. You're just watching someone get up on a podium and talk to you, and you're just like, why am I here? It's the same thing with TV series and or they just tear down the character, like Loki. I don't know if you guys have watched Loki. I watched it because I thought the actor would be pretty cool, and I do have a soft spot for fantasy and sci-fi. I am a geek. I love sci-fi and fantasy, but like Loki, they took the actor and they replaced him with a chick. Like, spoilers, by the way, but basically Loki becomes emasculated. They just make fun of him. They tear him down as a person, a character. Everyone gets their digs on him. And then the better Loki comes along, which is a female version of himself. And you're like, why am I even watching it? Like, I watched it for this actor that I thought was relatively good in the Marvel movies, and then they just didn't make it about the actor anymore. And you're like, why? What's going on here? I don't know. But anyways, it's good that they're getting back to stuff like this, and I appreciate it too. Like, sometimes you just want to turn your brain off and just engage in something. This looks an awful lot, like I said, like John Wick, and I haven't watched either of the Extraction movies, but I guess it kind of sounds that way. So, interesting. Anyways, we're gonna move along, guys. We're gonna get into the Reddits here. Take a look at what's popping on the Reddits. I did a little bit, talked about the drama, the Twitch drama. We took a look at the Lost and the Lost Titan submarine that's looking for Titanic, and now it needs to be looked for itself. Let's take a look at the the Reddits here, and see what's going on there before we get into Overwatch 2. Player progression is coming. This is kind of curious. There's a lot of stuff that they've talked about. Oh, wasn't there a new dev update? I think there was. I saw something on Twitter. Or missions, not you. Roadmap. There's the one from Keller we didn't listen to because it actually seemed kind of pointless. Yeah, I'm not interested in solo game modes. Game modes in general, arcade modes in Overwatch have always felt really gimmicky. You play them for 30 minutes, you're done. We looked at this, I have a video on it. The director's take and upcoming balancing changes. I think they implemented a lot of them already with last week's patch. Challenges, free items all season long. I think they're giving away like basic skins. Nothing wrong with that. And then obviously there's drops. I thought about putting drops in my title just to see what kind of hatred it would garner, because I'm obviously not streaming on Twitch, but drops are right now on Twitch where you can watch Twitch and get drops. I don't have the balls to do that, guys. I'm sorry. Like, that's like maybe someone's doing that on Kick right now. Tab go. Let's take a look. I mentioned this last night. Someone has drops in their title. No, I'm not seeing it. Oh, that's good. There's the drops on Twitch. Okay. Nothing outside the ordinary I want to cover there. It's basically just a recap of what they've already kind of presented. Claim your prize. What is this? Oh, you can just, guess if you have Prime, you can just skip some levels. I'll do that. Doesn't really matter, but it's free, so. I think I might have already done that. There we go. I guess I didn't. Oh, they show you Prime stuff months in advance. That's kind of weird. There's actually a really cool mech on Prime right now. Diva mech skin. Wave Racer. I don't know if that's available normally. Free skin. So I guess it's just a recap. Alrighty, let's move along. Progression, I guess, just gives you icons and little doodads to add to your profile. Kind of, they're trying to redesign it like Steam. I'm not against this. I wouldn't want this in lieu of actual gameplay, changes, but it's not a bad thing. Portrait timing in the shop. I don't know what the difference is. Did he just miss the change? Calculated Cassidy grenade. Let's see. YOLO. Or was he cheating? Not cheating. Beyond RNG. Good. We had Anna yesterday that was perfectly tracking someone through a wall and throwing a nade at him. That was kind of interesting. Our reports from last night. For an Anonade. AMD Reddits. What's going on here? Up trying to milk old content. They're just doing random comparisons. Price points. It's tough when you're a hardware reviewer. It's one of the reasons I thought about being a hardware reviewer at one point. Tech reviewer is there's lulls in hardware release cycles. Usually they're on like a 2-year cycle, and after which point you kind of have to figure out what you want to do for yourself. And the answer to it is just like what Linus does, which is just to make random videos on stuff that's barely technology and just random everyday stuff. Which works out for him, but it's not really like benchmarks or technology that you're really drilling into and you kind of want to make reviews on. Not enough content, and the people watching it aren't interested in the nitty-gritty details. They're interested in more something jokey. It's like Big Bang Theory is to geeks, right? Big Bang Theory isn't what you'd want to watch if you're interested in geeks. It's what's for everyone else, is for general consumers that they like to think geeks are and stereotype them as. Whereas if you're a geek and you appreciate geek humor, you'd watch something like Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley was pretty good. It got a little long in the tooth later on, but Silicon Valley was a very good series and generally reflects geek culture very well. Whereas Big Bang Theory is like geek culture for mainstream audiences. We have errors with everything at stock when playing games. Why? Probably need to update your BIOS. Hopefully. Otherwise, sometimes chips can come with broken. Basically, you can get a lemon. And they're pretty rare, though. Usually it's because the motherboard isn't giving proper voltages. AMD working with FreeSync panel replay technology superior to panel self-refresh. Oh, this is static. I heard about this already. They're going to change it basically where if there's a static image like what you're seeing on my screen right now with no moving detail, the screen basically doesn't refresh at all. It's just static. Whereas my screen is still refreshing. It sounds redundant, but it's actually not because your screen right now is refreshing. So if you're on a mobile device, this means it would have a refresh rate of basically 0. Just the backlight would be on. Matters basically for mobile applications like laptops or especially cell phones. Yeah, so it looks like they're just improving on the technology to make it something that draws even less power and keeps it in sync so it reduces latency. Nothing super revolutionary, but interesting. DVD Reddits. What are the kids bitching about today, guys? Wesker was disabled. He's being re-enabled. Everyone's happy for some reason. Actually killed someone right before escaping. You're up voting mainly because this is a new killer. Meg's butt has been augmented. Not safe for work. Careful, guys. Not safe for work image here. Oh. Oh, geez. What's the other one, though? They're just pictures of Meg's butt. That's true. If you play Dead by Daylight, she actually has a really flat butt. It doesn't look like she has a flat butt anymore. Shadow buffed Meg's ass. Been like this. I made this a couple years ago. I'm pretty sure. Flat butt on certain pants. Maybe the pants are different? Played Dead by Daylight. If you're curious why we covered the Dead by Daylight Reddit, it's because I used to play Dead by Daylight for about 2 years prior to streaming Overwatch 2 again. Yeah. Interesting game. Very different from anything else that you will ever play. Very, very niche, though. And all survivors hate killers. And they dogpile them. It's always 4v1, not just in the game, but also in chat or any reality. There's all sorts of highlights all over my YouTube channel if you guys are curious about that. I had some pretty wonderful interactions with some lovely folks in Dead by Daylight on multiple occasions. Lots of highlights. I don't think I've never highlighted a game as much as Dead by Daylight. I always felt like there's something weird or interesting that's happening in those games, outside the ordinary of what's happening to other streamers. And then there's like, I never used to upload my streams to YouTube when I was streaming for the 8 years. I think I started doing that last year in August is when I started uploading to YouTube. And even if no one watched them, guys, I should have just uploaded them purely so they're always on YouTube forever. Or presumably forever. Just lost content. I should have done that just for myself. It doesn't even matter if other people watch them. Just for myself. Okay. We're going to play some Overwatch 2, guys. Something happened last week in the patch, and the game feels wonky now. I mentioned that before, and it definitely... I played off stream yesterday, because I usually, after I'm done streaming, I eat dinner, fap, you know, the usual shenanigans, and then occasionally I'll play like an hour or two of Overwatch 2 later. It depends on how much free time I have. And it definitely feels like our game's a little bit different here, so I don't know what's going on. I ended up turning off, I tweaked it basically perfectly, but it feels like my aim's off. I had disable full screen optimizations on. I just turned them back on. Disable full screen, the option I just turned back on. But I had this off, and it seemed like it actually made the games better, running it with off later tonight. But there's some weird things, like I turned reduced buffering on, which I normally have it off now, and it just made things better, and then like 2 games later, it get bad again. I think the developers messed up something in the game engine, and yeah, like that was with the most recent patch last week. Something changed. I was watching some other streamers, and also seeing some other streamers are having issues too. So I don't think it's just a me thing, but it might be a me thing. All right. Change 5 million game categories, guys. So people can actually find my stream. There's no way for people to find your stream on YouTube or Facebook unless you are in a directory. Absolutely no way. Hence why I streamed Riftbreaker for a week, and I don't think we had... Well, Slane was there, but that was... he knew where to find me because he saw my channels. The socials. Alrighty. Overwatch 2. Yeah, there's absolutely no way that anyone would ever find you on YouTube Live unless you are in a game category that has people in it. They just don't see you. Go, guys, to the races. I don't know if we're going to do placements tonight. I said we're going to do placements tonight, but I tend to lie about that, just so you know. Changed, but it didn't change my title. There we go. All right. Did I forget anything? I don't think I did. Okay. Let's play the OW2s. Normally I just go for the hand cam, but that was experimental. I think I have a hand cam and a face cam set up. Wow, some people... Where is it? Right there. It's kind of in the middle of the screen. I have a big one. Normally I just turn on and turn off my face cam, but... It's kind of weird if you move it somewhere other than... Does my hand override it? It does. Kind of in the middle of the screen. If I put it below my camera, that's going to actually be where the health bar is. I could put it on the side of the screen above my microphone. I mean, you know. Whatever. We'll leave it there till people complain. Ah, the webcam. Okay. As I mentioned, I think we're going to do some tweaking here, guys, because something doesn't feel quite on. We'll see. The last 2 games I did with full screen optimizations off. Disable full screen optimizations off. See how the games go tonight.
But we got it done. I don't think so. Double, triple kill. Multiple targets eliminated.
Good. Good.
Blast it.
Yes.
Touch the sky. When I'm hitting my shots, you can't touch me.
BRB on. Turn on VRB on my garbage monitor. VRB is vertical refresh blinking. It makes the screen turn on and off really, really fast, which actually helps the motion clarity. But it is like perfume on a pig. I need a new monitor, and I was waiting for the 500 hertz monitor to come out because I haven't bought a new monitor since 2018-ish. And Asus announced it in January, actually earlier than that, and we still have not released it. I want that so bad. More than anything else, being able to see Genjis while they're moving super fast is like my wet dream.
Arriving at Watchpoint Gibraltar.
How many cheaters we're going to get tonight, guys? Let's find out. Usually our first match is kind of inundated, but we'll see. Lots of people cheat. Just the way the world is right now. AI anti-cheat hopefully will save us from that. I haven't heard of like anything, so AnyBrain being one of the first startups I talk about that has AI anti-cheat. Oh, I also got the devil skin, which I might not even use. It is very easy to see because you have like highlights on your skin when you're flying. It makes it easier for people to like hone in on you, I guess you could say, because you glow. Surprise. Let's see if there's still FPS issues they were having last night.
Oh, sweet Edina has grown into a domineering beast.
My name is Orisa.
Ah.
You would be wise to remember it.
Affirmative. Flying the friendly skies. Yes.
Gonna die?
Attack commencing.
Enemies high and strong. Increasing altitude.
Advancing payload.
Enemy over here.
And I missed your jump.
Dispersing. Enemy turret ahead. Watch
Ah.
enemy turret destroyed. Amplifying your... Yes.
I need assistance.
No.
On the turret. She lost her heal bot. Whoa! No, no. That was a one-click, right-click away from me dying. I felt that. I felt that in my nuts, guys. We were literally one right-click away from dying there, and it was going to happen. Predicted the future. Prevented it from happening. We are in the best timeline. Okay.
Unassailable prowess.
Affirmative.
Nice.
Okay, well.
They outnumber us. Keep it tight.
Well, whatever that was, I fell on the wrong side.
Always more to learn.
4918's not bad.
I understand.
Taking off. I am empowered. No one can hear.
He wants that res so bad. Hardest thing in the fucking world to do is shoot a fucking ulti mercy. Yep. Wants it. Very accurate soldier. Trying to punch me. Good. Ah!
I'm back. Up and away.
Hey guys. How are you alive? How are you alive? Okay.
Excellent teamwork.
Try and push their healers out. Yeah, I think she's still right. Doomfist loves styling on you. Yeah. You can predict that. If you just leave them alone, they get really pissed off at you playing Pharah and just ignoring them. So there's a good chance, like, when you hear them hopping up next to you, they're trying to peg you against the wall. So you just fly up when they're falling down, and they usually almost always miss it, or you line them up with a far hit so they can't hit you against the wall. Soldier is very, very accurate. But as for her, you don't have time to fucking pay attention to the Doomfist because you're trying to deal with the 100% accurate soldier. I missed mine. Hey, buddy. Alive. Probably could have done that without killing him, but I don't know. He thought the exit was there. Yeah. Nope, that changed. Love it. There we go. For the healers. There we go. Wrong side. Good. 51-17 is pretty good. Good.
Play of the game.
Oh, we're gonna watch Mercy die. She died. Good. Don't forget to thank your healers. Although our Moira, I don't think did much, as the Mercy was heal botting the shit out of me. For her. Let's see. Yeah. I don't think this is entirely... So this isn't even possible if they just heal botted me. If all they did was heal bot me, guys, they would have almost no healing. Probably have maybe 4,000, 3,000 healing. This person went... This is usually a good sign of a good Mercy. They went back and forth between all of our teammates here and healed everyone while healing me. Which is pretty good, usually, while healing me. Good stuff.
Welcome to Oasis. Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
Pretty good skin. I missed my, I like my titanium, though. Also, very accurate soldier. Very, very accurate soldier. The rest of our teammates are relatively good at keeping him under control, though.
Strike from above.
One more mission, huh? I'm in.
And then?
City of unfettered scientists. Yeah, until they call Helix in tears at 2 in the morning because the wolf bats escaped again. Greetings.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Yes.
1.
Flying in
Round
friendly
1.
skies.
Capture the objective.
Doomfist here.
Got. Very accurate Ash. Misses. Good.
The objective is now active.
Increasing altitude.
Nice.
On my way.
Jump. No, there she goes.
On my way. On my way. Let me see what I can do.
Healing fortified.
Want to res that?
I require healing.
Hey. Yeah.
I will not let you fall. I'm not done yet. I'm on top of the world. Excellent teamwork.
Line of sighting. Ah! Yeah. That was hoping she was gonna run into. Some people like flanking you when you're ulting because they're like free kill. Couldn't have done that without her help. That Ash is still incredibly accurate. We're line of sighting her. She's missing a lot of her shots because I'm going behind walls right when she fires. And her reaction time seems to be relatively poor for how accurate she is. Now she's just missing.
Face my burning feet.
Taking off. Thanks for Enemy over here. This will cut the bait. Positioning. Up and away. I am empowered. Enemy here. En route. I see an enemy.
Nice. Line of sight to McCree.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Good. 48-15. Not bad.
Score
Good, good, good.
1-0.
Well, I mentioned most feeling off. Like I said, this morning I did some testing, and I think maybe I got it. It's really weird when they don't really change much in the game, and then all of a sudden your mouse aim just is fucked up. I think it's full screen optimizations. Windows had no updates. I did nothing to my computer. I think it was something that Blizzard did, unintentionally or intentionally. Sometimes they mess with anti-cheat or something that can mess up your mouse aim. So normally you want to have full screen optimizations off. Disable full screen optimizations on, but full screen optimizations off.
Close, but don't go easy on them. Excellent teamwork.
Lost her healer. There's Me Too Farah.
Railgun charged. Time to kick some tail. En route. Need this. I don't stay down.
Massive ping spike.
Into the air. I will not waste this opportunity. Heads up. Justice reigns from above. Always more to learn.
Bad timing.
Up and away. Thanks for the assist.
We're gonna have to go in, but we need to wait for teammates to go in so I don't immediately get gunned down, which is what we're getting focused right now. No. Think we got ourselves a cheater? It's not because he was playing Farah. That's easy shots when you're standing still.
Shake it off.
As I mentioned on Ash, he just happens to be playing Farah now.
Aerial positioning underway.
What'll happen? Oh, missed. That just went through him.
From above.
Good.
1-1.
It sucks, guys.
Look at this team.
Pharah vs. Pharah is very, very intense regardless of the player you're playing against, just because they'll usually hyper-focus you. In order for us to get in and make ground, we have to deal with that. It's very difficult to do.
I'm way cooler than you.
That's exactly what I would have said.
Good, good.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 3. Capture the objective.
Don't hold back, because this is it. Taking off.
Wait, am I the only one that's actually firing against this? Pharah vs. Pharah is usually a waste of time if you actually pay attention to the other person.
The objective.
Mainly because it takes a lot of effort to shoot someone, and you just waste a bunch of time, so. Unless you're literally right on top of them. That being said, we're wasting 2 players worth of... Basically, 2 players worth of enemies on their team. So they're basically down 2 players where we're just wasting my time, which is 1 player. But then again, they also have a hit scan that can shoot me, so it'd be nice if we had a hit scan that can kill them. And dead. And res. No. And then we died to their hit scan. Also a player that doesn't miss. Let's check for groups.
Returning to battle.
4 stack. And the person that's not in the group is the tank.
Aerial positioning underway.
Fire! Everyone follow me.
He wants that res. Tough.
Repulsion.
I am on fire.
Dispersing.
Oh, we missed. Good.
Increasing altitude.
King's dead.
There they are. Get ready. Issuing an alert. Justice.
King's gone. He's just trying to go around the back and harass as long as we stick together. Oh my god, he killed the Hera. No way. And dead. For some strange reason, after I invited them to a group, they got a lot worse. That's interesting. Ish. Lighting shots. Get it? No. Good stairwell to go against. Here could be able to kill Mercy.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
That's not where I wanted to go with him. I was trying to hold him, and that didn't happen.
Number. Be advised. I can always count on you. Okay, my head's in the game.
Seems as though he's flicking not to the target, but then flicks twice, and it goes to the target.
Increasing altitude.
Pre-made. We're gonna have res for sure. No missing Ash. Yeah, I literally that. So we lost our pharmacy in exchange for the enemy team getting a pharmacy, and then we just lost. Good shit. We're going to take a look at the replay, guys. Normally I don't spend time on replays, but we're going to look at this one. This is a 4-stack 2 on top of it. Right. Let's see. Curious about hit reg. It's very difficult, well, more difficult to see when someone's cheating when they're playing hit scan, or not hit scan on projectiles.
Well ready for battle.
But what I'm interested in was the first part, and we're going to look at the second part on the other Ash.
Join me.
Just point me in the right direction.
Cheating, more than likely. What? Oh, no pre in there. He misses when chest and head points are behind cover. Yeah, he's cheating. He misses shots, so if you notice, people can aim at people when they're partially obfuscated. Bad aimbots will aim only at your head and chest. So your center chest and center head. If your center head and center chest are behind walls, it won't lock on. The shittiest aimbots, the bottom of the barrel will only lock the chest and head. And those are the two spots that it'll detect. And if you're behind a wall, it won't be able to do that. Or if you're partially obfuscated. I've seen Winston's. We had a guy yesterday playing, maybe that was actually off stream. I had a guy playing McCree with a Winston whose head or chest was partially obfuscated. He's sitting on the side of an edge here. And his chest and head points were obfuscated. And obviously Winston's fucking huge. The right side of his body was completely sticking out from the side. But the McCree I was watching, who was extremely accurate, this is this morning, I'm pretty sure it was off stream. The McCree I was watching that was extremely accurate, couldn't shoot the guy. Like, he was trying to flick to him, and he was just like flicking to the wall, and then he was flicking to the side of him. You couldn't shoot him. He missed like 5 shots on the guy while he's just sitting there behind the wall getting healed. Kill cam looked really, really janky, and the moment he leaped away, he started hitting shots on him again. Cheating is very, very, very common in this game, and it is very easy to do. The only thing that stops people from cheating is not knowing how common it is, or being, good people, because there's no point cheating in a video game because you just rob yourself of any sort of enjoyment. This guy hits all the shots when your chest and head are exposed. Has very slow reaction times too on top of it. Obfuscated by a shield, which is why he's hitting other shots. Depending on the kind of aimbot, it will unlatch when people are behind shields. Doing something. Obfuscated. He's flicking past the person, so there's a min-lock distance. Hit reg, hit reg. No scope. This guy's 100% cheating. We're going to take a look at the other hit scan too. So more difficult, we aren't even going to watch the Farrah gameplay. And the Farrah gameplay just makes it more and more difficult. Projectile aimbots are definitely a thing too. But we don't even bother with that. Let's see what kind of account this is. Probably a burner, basic emblem, and level 1. It is very, very easy to get level 2 prestige. Oh, by the way, Mercy that healed us for a bit. They actually have good heals, even though we weren't going to heal about it at the end. So this guy with the name like Ballsman, yeah, probably a disposable burner account. Take a look at the Ash, which looks like he traded off with him in round 2. And what makes it more infuriating is because it just seems like I have a complex because he was playing Pharah. That's not why I thought he was cheating. I thought he was cheating prior to playing Pharah.
Hey, it's kickoff.
Partially visible. I wasn't visible. Looked like he's partially tracking me behind the wall. And this looks like he actually... Oh, I forgot to put a min-lock distance on the other guy. This looks like he just started tracking the wrong target. So sometimes what will happen is, depending on how good the aimbot is, it won't detect which target you're locked onto. And it will, if someone walks in front of a character, it will lock on to the person that walks in front of their line of sight, which is extremely obvious, because they'll immediately start chasing someone. Like if a tracer runs through, they'll immediately start tracking the new person that's in front. The other part is if someone uses a movement ability and there's a minimum detach distance, which is also with min lock distance, when they move away, it'll lock onto someone that's basically behind them, which is what I'm looking at right now. When he's shooting he's obviously trying to kill the tank here, right? Attempting to kill the tank. And he's like, oh, I guess I'll shoot the fucking McCree in the background while he's trying to kill the tank.
I'm not a hello.
Once again, one of the reasons we don't normally go over replays is because they take too much time. The amount of time you could spend in a replay, I could probably play maybe 2 or 3 games. Depends on how long things take.
Are fueled.
What I'm more interested in is his Ash gameplay in round 3. Just holding down the trigger and waiting for the guy to walk in front of his crosshair. Which is usually what happens when people have aim assist, you'll see with controllers. Hi.
Hey.
Up and away.
Looked an awful lot like he started firing as the McCree was about to walk in front of his line of sight. And just holding down the button. Trying to shoot the McCree that's behind a wall right now. Yeah. So, projectile aimbots are really tricky, especially Sojourn. Sojourn's line of sight and how she tracks. It either looks extremely, like, obvious aimbot, or it can kind of be all over the place in terms of aim, which is why people with aimbots usually will not play Sojourn. Like, they could play something else, like, depending on the aimbot and who programs it, something like even Echo will be easier than Sojourn is. But all their rails will be basically 100% accurate because that's hit scan.
Not so fast. This ends now.
Missed all of her rails on them. Diva is a very small model. Good. Alright, so this is what we're looking for, which is Ash. Pretty sure this guy's cheating, just based purely on his interactions with people behind walls. Regardless, aim. Got misses. Bubbles.
The objective is now active.
Take everything from them.
Smoke him out of there.
You guys 100% cheating.
Smoke him out.
So you basically just snap to the Kiriko behind the wall. This guy, so depending on skill level of the person cheating, putting aside the cheat itself, some people will have very slow reaction time. What you're seeing here is this guy responding to the Kiriko too late, but then snaps to her behind a wall. Right here. And then he realizes that she's behind a wall and then looks away. Or the aimbot itself, usually they'll have it set so it doesn't lock to people behind walls because it's really obvious. Just like the McCree earlier, that was obfuscated. He had more information on the Kiriko than she did on the McCree earlier. Looks like it has min-lock distance too. 25 pixels, let's say. I've seen this guy around too, so I don't know if this is a new account. Worst girl with the weird spelling. Actually, doesn't have weird spelling, like weird characters. Bubble. Bunch of shots now. First game of the night. Called that shit. Actually, no, this is the second game, wasn't it?
My ultimate is ready.
Looks like he's following people behind walls, but that's just a doorway too.
I'm on the objective. Come over if you want to cut. The sacred grace.
Okay. Bubbles once again. Oh, he just decided that he wasn't going to shoot the Zarya anymore.
Rocket barrage incoming. Better get digging, Bob.
Actually looks like he's over flicking and then flicks back. Yeah. Irregardless aim, so some people have their aimbot set up for a % miss. Flat. The fun thing is when you get people that just magically become better out of nowhere. Talked about this before. Yeah. Good. Block them. This wasn't mentioned before. I've seen them before. That was a huge waste of time. Next game. That was a 4-stack, though. Welcome to Degenerate Hours, guys. Good, good, good. Ooh. Next game.
Strike from above. Aerial positioning underway.
Double kill.
Splash.
By the way, the reason you block people, I don't block people because I'm like uninterested in what they're typing. Some people that we've reported before get banned because I've seen them around for a prolonged period of time. Like, I report them, they seem pretty obvious. We've had cases where people will just remake their account. They'll remake their account, or just buy a new account and then name change it back to their original account so that they can have history. We have we've seen that maybe 3 or 4 times, and I got maybe 10 people on my block list. 7 people maybe on my block list. I don't block everyone that I see that's cheating. Only if we see them for multiple times. So I don't put them on block list.
Traveling, prepare your defenses.
Alrighty. Let's see how this one goes. Good, good, good.
So you're going with gold. Joining Overwatch.
Isn't that what you want?
What I want never said a matter to begin with.
How y'all feeling?
Stand
up straight.
I need my HP. I need my 8 HP.
Yes. Thanks for the assist. I need healing.
La.
5, 4, 3, 2. Affirmative.
Attackers incoming. Stop the pin.
No, we missed it.
Enemy over here.
And railgun.
Disrupting. Railgun powered and ready to fight. Should have looked up.
Making another approach. Aerial positioning underway. Hello.
The enemy returns.
Very accurate Baptiste.
They have superior numbers.
I got you.
Missed one. Good.
The skies await.
Soldier 76 reporting for duty. Actuating the barrier.
The payload has reached.
Two most cheated healers, guys, while it's relatively uncommon, are Baptiste and Anna. Baptiste can do an insane amount of damage as well. He wants to res that shit. Baptiste does 120 damage, 120 DPS, and McCree does 146, 142 I think. Which is pretty insane. For some strange reason, Blizzard felt the need to make it so supports now can... good supports can basically 1v1 DPS and still heal really well.
Enemy in sight.
What the fuck's the tank doing? Oh my god.
Is that melody?
That's not where we want to be, guys.
Okay, my head's in the game. Stand up straight. I am empowered. Returning to battle.
This will cut the pay, Ahlan.
Increasing altitude.
Very, very accurate. Sojourn.
This ends now.
Well, Bap.
En route.
Someone call?
Repulsion.
Whoop.
Thanks for the assist.
Some of my shots are still feeling off. It feels like I'm shooting through people. Isn't helping things either. Like I shot through the monkey with my concussion, and I shot through the monkey with my mouse 1.
Railgun powered and ready to fire.
Very accurate Sojourn. Bap has stopped shooting at us for some reason, though. Damage.
Take
definitely not where you want to fight. For some reason, very obsessed with doing that.
Excellent teamwork.
Tactical visor activated.
Check groups again. So what you'll get with cheat lobbies too is they'll drop group when they join the game, so they're less likely to get team banned. Because Twitch, or not Twitch, Blizzard will ban people that group with cheaters. Pretty sure the Sojourn is cheating. The app might also be cheating, but we have basically no data points on that. Good.
At your service. Torbjörn, ready to work.
Okay. Dude, if you impulsively hit yes on group invites, it's totally not why I'm inviting him. That's your own fault. Yeah. I don't know why some people just spam yes, but they do. Good. He just fucked off, so.
I will not waste this opportunity. Still pushing you.
Me too, man.
Nanoboost is ready. Get in there. I'll hit you.
Very active soldier. Had some McCree from earlier.
I am unbreakable. Increasing altitude.
You need this.
Hi. White Saber.
I'm in. Taking care of you. Nanoboost is ready to deploy.
Freeze! Over there.
Too high. That sucks. Very active soldier now. McCree wasn't anything exceptional.
Returning to battle. They have us outnumbered. Enemy over here.
Gonna try and res that. Apply pressure. He's resing. They play like a team, and that's pretty rare. We're in quick play right now. No one uses comms in quick play either. Why we invited him in the first place. Good. So both the DPS possibly cheat. The BAT might also cheat, but there's no data points in that. He has like no damage. The Ana now, I think. Or take a look at the replay. Soldier was the McCree was nothing special up until the end when they basically got stuck. Yeah, I don't give a shit. If you don't want me to check, I'll still check anyways. You can suck my dick. Do what I want! Yeah, dude, I got my hand full of gaslighting and fucking Dead by Daylight. Yeah, I don't care. Alright, so we're gonna take a peek there. Who was the BAP? It was the Ana, wasn't it? Ana was the Mercy. This is the BAP. Alright, let's watch some more replays. Very certain the Sojourn's cheating. We'll see.
Traveling to your battle.
He's cheating. That guy's 100% cheating. Okay. Cassidy? So what do we beg here? This guy's definitely cheating. That's an easy ban. Like, we didn't watch anything there. GM? In your prior lifetime. Oh, always a GM. Good for him. They swapped? Yeah, so this guy played McCree too. Just so we don't confuse the guys here. Okay. We'll take a look at the BAP. BAP didn't play BAP for long. I knew, was very, very certain the Sojourn was cheating, but I don't know, BAP might have just been on his game for a little bit, which sometimes happens, and you just die. Where he killed me, perfect spot to rewind to. Not going to be interesting when he's playing Mercy, obviously. Let's see what his other kills look like.
Heroes never die. Disrupting.
Nice to be the patient. Round of healing. Excellent. Keep the payload moving.
I'm on fire.
Now you see me?
This is where our tank threw. What the fuck our tank was doing? He had like an agenda with this monkey over here. I have no idea why he did this. He like went to the side, basically threw the objective, didn't go to the objective while they're pushing it, and then tried to kill the monkey. I guess because, I don't know, like this whole thing over here, I have no idea what that was. Basically just threw our entire P1 to P2 push.
My turn.
Not seeing anything, guys. These guys like swapped off with each other at exactly the same moment. This is where the Mercy swapped, I believe, and then he swapped to Mercy. So this is why I'm pretty sure that they were on voice comms with each other, because they're swapping roles with each other. Because they want to play each other's characters and stuff.
Still beating. So
And his next kill.
Let me show you how it's done. You look like you needed a hand. My ultimate is ready.
Heroes never die.
Yeah, I don't think we aren't seeing anything here. So maybe he's just on his aim game for the one kill on me. Let's take a look at the other DPS now, which was relatively normal up until the end when he went soldier. Like, it didn't feel like he's applying any pressure up until the end with Soldier, where he basically just became insanely accurate.
We need to get the payload moving again.
This will cut the pain.
Death ain't on my doorstep yet.
It's go time.
That'll also happen, by the way. It doesn't necessarily need to be a coordinated effort. Like, if people are cheating, sometimes they just pick different times to toggle on. Because they're losing the game and they don't want to lose, and they'll toggle on at the end.
Reach for the star.
Where he won Soldier on the last push, I guess.
Feeling a bit lonesome. Where's my team?
Last
No
pushes?
progress
No.
on the payload.
Oh, this is after we wiped them with May. Cream. There we go. Hi. Ah, they know they're gonna win now. High spirits, guys. Morale is high. Oh, they're all excited. I wonder why. Once again, I thought they're in a group. Now he's very, very accurate. Pre-aim. Reacting to unknown. There's max distance to it. Pre-aim. Like I said, he was normal up until then. This is when I put off my shit radar. When you go up in the sky, guys, and close to 100% of the bullets from a soldier hits you. Yeah, he's 100% cheating. He just fucking tried to kill the Mercy behind the wall that he couldn't see. Called that. Live called that shit. Well in game. Yeah, so he was normal, and then he toggled on at the end because he really had to win. I guess he got angry. So my guess... Just my guess is what happened in this match, and one of the reasons they got so angry about that guy joining my group and then leaving is because this is actually a group of friends, and they dropped group when they got in the lobby. I don't know how big the stack is, maybe 3 people or 4 people. They dropped group when they got into the game, so if you check their group, you won't see that they're actually in a group. And Blizzard, I don't know how their anti-cheat works on it, how they figure out. I assume they can figure out, you know, the timing on, like, timestamp for groups, right? But maybe it's a way of getting around group bans in the game. So if you get banned and flagged in a match, you won't take your friends out with you, because that's the thing. If you commonly group with people that are cheating, you'll get your friends banned as well. Which makes a lot of sense, right? But yeah, this guy, I mean, you could tell that these guys, not extremely well, but you could definitely tell these guys are working together. And this guy's all excited because he went to the Soldier and he's going to show us good. He's going to show me good. Yeah. Here's the May was sitting there. Invaded the ult. Looking at the Mercy behind the wall. Pre-aim at Z height. Maybe a min lock distance. Pre-aim again, but she's partially exposed. Actually, let's take a look here. I mean, you can tell she's there. Pre-aim again. This guy's aim is all over the place too on top of it. So the Sojourn was cheating the entire match. This guy started cheating at the end of the match. Cream again at the May. He wants to kill the May so she can't stall. That was his game plan. Yeah, so that guy toggled at the last push is like one of the last two pushes, last push, something like that. Yeah. So Sojourn I was 100% correct on. I knew that I was using the cheat. Baptiste was kind of weird, but that wasn't anything outside the ordinary. That just happened once. Soldier was definitely cheating at the end of the match. Right guy, which is this guy. Oh my god, 5,000 hours too. He's really risking it. Look at that. And by the way, guys, people do not need to play. You see a lot of people that don't even touch comp that play and cheat in quick play. One of the reasons people cheat in quick play so often is because the teams are less likely to be balanced because they aren't, which is what cheaters love. You're less likely to be reported because no one takes quick play seriously, and there's no prerequisites for you to actually cheat in quick play in the first place. This guy was just probably lollygagging around with his friends. My guess is he was definitely playing with his friends, which is why they dropped group at the end of the match. This guy has an extremely high level account, so this is either worth a lot of money, he bought it off someone, or this is his personal account that he's risking it on. This guy is definitely cheating out the wazoo, though. There's a lot of pre-aim in there, and latch. Snaps. And it looks like he had a mid-distance, too. Good for him. You gotta get everything. Yeah, like that guy did absolutely nothing, which is probably the way that they play. He's like, I'm going to play a little bit safe. You know, I'm just going to only need it when I need it, right? Only need it. You know, it's Ucky Farah anyways. Farah is 100% cheater bait, mind you. Jesus Christ. We are 2 for 2. That's incredible. I got to take a piss, guys. I will be right back in one moment, and we'll actually play games. 1 second. That'll happen. Well, as it is. More cheating tonight than there was last night. sometimes you get games like that where you're just, sometimes we haven't run into a cheat lobby. Usually we'll run into like maybe one cheat lobby per night. A cheat lobby is where everyone is in a group together and they all cheat together, which is pretty infuriating to play against, but those occasionally happen too. I'm pretty sure that was a pre-made, but we couldn't figure it out. So you can join game and drop group. Good. Actually want to play games. What I was really curious about, though, we probably wouldn't have watched the replay if I wasn't curious about the map. Holder definitely felt weird at the end there, and he was. Like, it felt like he went from maybe a diamond / master to top 500. Like, there was a transition of skill there that you can immediately tell that just happened. Mainly the accuracy that was extremely close to 100% accurate. Yeah. That is a big number of count to 5,000 hours, guys. That's pretty incredible. Just shows you how, that egregious, flamboyant, blatant cheaters are. Like, they don't care. And if they do get banned, they'll just buy a new account. That's incredible. 5,000 hours is worth a lot of money, though. And people, they don't just make new accounts, but they just buy accounts. They aren't going to waste money on making a new account, or waste time on a new account when they can just spend $10 and get what they want. You can get accounts with GM history, top 500 history, depends on how much you want to spend. Obviously, it goes up in price with the better history, but it exists. Well, you can't trust history either. You can't go like, oh, this is obviously the guy. You have no idea who owns the account.
Mind the gap.
Fortunately, it doesn't show you anything anymore. It doesn't show you all the seasons. So you get that nice stark contrast between when they became demigod compared to what they are now. Or compared to what they used to be. Good. Ooh, right before the abyss. That was the death. We hit that. I do hope there's supposed to be like the masteries thing that they're adding to the game for like the training grounds. I really hope they just add a traditional training range. There's the jump lobby where you can use a training code where you can get a bunch of people jumping on your screen. It's not as easy to join as just going in and training. It depends on how long your queue is too. So it almost doesn't feel like you should be joining that, but then because you get an instant queue and then sometimes your queues last like 6 minutes. And then you're like, hey, maybe I should have joined that. Ooh, spicy. Hit it. Good, good, good.
Arriving at Crescent. Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
Ah, lovely.
Strike from above.
No one expected the Roman Empire.
My brother right now is bicycling around Europe. He does tours during the summer, which is actually pretty cool. I spent some time in Europe. I'd recommend everyone go. If you live in the U.S. or vice versa, come to the U.S. if you live in Europe for a couple weeks just to get a feel of different culture. Sometimes things are better, sometimes they're worse, and sometimes they're just different. Lots of differences between the way people do stuff, even though they try to accomplish the same thing. Okay. So if you're low on health and you jump into that 25% or lower, you just get a free heal.
Pushing the barricade.
That is very accurate.
Returning to battle.
The enemy's
On the move.
surpasses ours.
Everyone feeling better?
They are pushing the robot.
Splash.
Anna's very accurate. Oh, they're on comms. The new one is coming from the healer.
All systems nominal.
Let's move forward.
En route.
Look
Good,
out!
good.
Enemy here.
Very accurate Anna. Still very accurate Anna.
The enemy has claimed the robot.
Shot. Hey, buddy.
R7000 down.
Lost our tank there too.
Secure.
And there's Widow we couldn't get. I expected the Tracer to be over there and she wasn't.
Peak performance.
The skies await. Up and away.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Let them up.
Ooh, that is lovely. They're definitely communicating. Let's check for groups.
Help! Over here!
One's in a group.
They've taken the robot.
Yeah.
I reek.
Establishing aerial position. We need that robot to turn around.
He just tried to shoot me behind the wall. You have to kill Diana, really. Nothing else matters. Yeah, these guys are literally right on top of each other.
Taking off.
Exercise is good for your joints.
Hi. On the move.
Can't get that. We're gonna die. We would have been fine.
The barricade is making progress.
Whenever I dive the healers, though, they're right on top of helping them out. Either with the tank, the other healer. Parallel linear acceleration.
Aerial positioning underway.
Let them up.
Anna does not miss a shot. I think she's only missed one when I came around a corner. Yeah. Oh, why not? What DPI do I play at? Oh my god, that's so personal. I play at 8600 DPI.
Hello.
And 34 cents? 36 cents. And I'm very certain it's cheating. Tracer might be, I don't know.
Time to kick some tail.
That's the reason I have a hand cam. Normally people have a hand cam so you can see how fast their hand moves, right? And everyone's all impressed by how fast their hand moves. Pop shots, dodge those. The Tracer really wanted to kill me. Make sure doesn't die in there. Yeah, I mean it's what you get used to, right? When I was younger, I kept just dialing up the DPI until I got where it was. Ideally, you should be able to play on the highest DPI possible, assuming the mouse is accurate. Highest DPI possible, and then you turn it down to a fractional amount of sensitivity to whatever you want to move your hand speed at. Because DPI is literally how fast the mouse measures the pad, right? And the more it's more accurate, the higher you go, which is a good thing. But a lot of games don't allow you to turn down the sensitivity far enough to a fractional amount to make up for like 18,000 DPI. Putting aside the fact that there's almost no one test mice, so even though a mouse says like 25,000, 18,000 DPI, they'll oftentimes use interpolation at a higher DPI, which introduces a lot of error, and it's just absolutely terrible. Keep watching the Anna. That's not what I wanted to point out. But I have a hand cam. I discovered, I was like, no one wants to watch a hand cam, right? If you don't have anything fancy, but I was like, maybe if people want to watch that my hand doesn't move. It's not actually a GIF. It's not a picture, guys. It's not a GIF. No. Hi. I almost got it. Good.
No one can hide from my sight.
Tank's worth more than I am, that's why I killed him.
Always more to learn.
We'll get you where you need to go.
Watch here.
Into the air.
Concentrate really, really hard. You can see it move. There's still Widow back there, too. Anna seemingly has stopped trying to take shots at me. Did she change? No, she didn't.
Escorting the robot.
Heads up.
Trying to kite now. They definitely changed something with the latest patch. Like, my aim definitely just still does not feel on. Like, I can't hit mid-airs and directs the way that I used to be able to hit mid-airs and directs. Monkey hits should be very easy. Here it goes behind me.
10 seconds remaining.
It's actually a GIF. It's a meme.
Overtime.
Positioning.
I'm the cream of the crop.
This is our last chance to stop them.
This is our last chance. Stay with the robot.
Got that. Got that. We're gonna have to still watch out for the Anna.
It's almost ours.
You gonna try and nuke me? No. side our healers. Yeah. That was a missile we got on the tracer at the end there, guys. That flick went through. Oh, stuff like that just feels good. That's why I love playing Pharah. Okay, so very certain that Anna's cheating. After I started mentioning that, she stopped shooting at me. Very, very, very accurate. And the tracer might also be cheating, but I don't know. So we're getting 2 per game tonight. That's not normally normally it's like 1 to 2 every 1 to 2 games, and tonight it's just been 2s. Take a peek here real quick. So this is someone that looks like they swap. I don't know how stats are recorded, but it looks like he swapped the Lucio at the end there just so he wouldn't get a loss in Anna. I'm pretty sure it's still calculated as a loss, but I don't know. So once again, this is someone that does not actually, I don't know why they have duplicate categories here. This is someone that doesn't actually play comp. Competitive deathmatch doesn't count. But you don't need to cheat, as it turns out. I never knew so many people cheated at comp or at quick play until I played a copious amount of quick play.
Let's go. Uh-oh, they're pushing. Come over here.
Miss.
Here. Hello there. Hello. My ultimate is ready.
Boost is ready to deploy.
First shot. Sometimes you'll see something weird with Anna's, where when you first appear, they'll miss their first shot, and then they hit every single shot after that point. I still don't understand what that is. You know what that is. It's like they toggle a mode or something. Line of sighted himself. Line of sighted himself twice.
Can't be much.
We've got it.
Snare.
No one can have.
What you'll see with people that cheat, guys, is they oftentimes play an awful lot like players do when they have a controller. But you can tell when people are cross-platform, and controller on Windows does not have aim assist. They do have aim assist on console, especially if they're playing with Zims, which is obnoxious. But they'll play a lot of the same way that use the same tactics as people do. This guy's aim is literally all over the place. Missed because they line of sighted him, so he has a slow reaction time. That's where that moment right there was exactly when I said he shot me behind the wall, which is what happened just exactly in the replay. Give shots.
Don't let them push ahead.
I'll keep you up. You're powered up. Get in there.
Weird thing is, it's like he misses shots on his teammates, but hits shots on enemies.
You need this.
I don't know if the game calculates accuracy different for Anna's. Like, maybe there's a hidden stat between teammates and enemies.
I've got you. I'm with you.
I am on. Devour them.
Scoped in is always hit scan. Hipfire is projectile, if you guys are curious about that. So hipfire will always be relatively less accurate unless they have it dialed in, but even if they do. Yeah, he's like 100% accurate on enemies.
Do not provoke me.
Yeah. Okay. This guy, yes. And then the Tracer we're going to check out. Tracer is like one of those things where she wasn't really harassing me, so I can't really... that's why we have to look at the replay. Can't really say. But when she was attacking me, she was incredibly accurate.
Greetings.
We swap? Swapped, yeah. So, different guy at the beginning of the match. Once again, trading characters. Putting aside what we're going to see here, trading characters usually assign that they're in a squad together. We checked the groups. No one was in a group in this game. Once again, when people are cheating, Blizzard VAC bans, or not VAC bans, group bans. And as such, they'll try and drop groups when they get into a lobby, so if they get reported, they don't take their friends out with them.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Tracer.
Look at me go! Can't be matched.
But you can't tell, because they're in a group. The game doesn't tell you.
We've got it! Let's go! We've got it!
Reason.
No one can hide from my sight.
I've got you.
Ouch. Irritating.
They're taking the robot!
I have you. Keep fighting. El tube amen.
And something.
Outnumbered! Careful! Much better.
We are about to lose
Don't
the
let them
lead.
push ahead!
So if you look at this line of thought, like he's just literally shooting whatever's on screen. He's getting attacked by the Doomfist, and instead of shooting at the Doomfist and trying to tangle with the Doomfist, he decides that he's going to shoot at me.
Don't let them push ahead!
And then shoots back at the Doomfist once again, which is kind of weird. It's like just waiting for it. He like lost him, and then like he started tracking me, even though he was literally right here. He lost him on his screen or in his head, and then he started tracking me, and then he goes back to shooting the Doomfist. That's where it said parallel linear velocity.
I don't think so.
Nanoboost administered.
In tip-top shape. Time to travel never gets old. You're a real lucky.
Need this.
Taking the robot. A mistake they will come to regret.
Look at me go.
You knew the Zen was sitting there. Earlier he had the Widow infravision on. He didn't at that time. Zens are really juicy if you can catch them off guard because they don't really have any escapes. Widow occasionally killing me, as widows do. He really hates that Zen. Going for him again? No.
They've taken possession of the robot.
Good thing I dodged.
Winston report.
This will cut the pain.
Let's stop them in their tracks.
We're going to lose the lead soon.
Bracer has a really, really sharp DPS fall off with your range. And that guy's outside of his range. He's messing with something again.
Thank you. Let's try that again.
Please do not power jump.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you.
Meteor strike.
I'm looking at you.
Like, there's a lot of variation when he starts firing at people, but you'll notice it sticks inside of his chest. And whoever he's firing at, he'll stick in a box around their chest. But when it hits the side, when they jump, when people use a movement ability, it accelerates basically at the same speed that they do. with a little bit of a delay between it.
Let the Kitsune guide you!
Meteor strike.
One of those nights, guys.
Who's on fire? I am. Final push. Let's stop them. Who's on fire? I am. Final push. Let's stop them.
I mean, he knows this guy is literally right here. You can smell him. Most cheaters will not look directly at people through walls because it is a dead giveaway that someone is cheating. But sometimes they fuck up and they do it regardless, especially in heated moments, like overtime right now, which is what we're looking at right here. And it's right when he's about to see him. Looks at the wall. About to get him, and then you can start to see his pants now. He can't see his health bar because he hasn't tagged him. Right on top of him. Once again, you could see a little bit of him as he's coming around the wall. I mean, this is kind of give or take. Really hates his Zen. Sometimes you'll see that with cheaters too, as they try to harass a player because they're assholes. They love sticking it to one person over and over again because they have like the sadistic side to them. Definitely not a fan of the Zen. I don't know, this is close.
Don't give up. Heroes don't give up. Repositioning. I'm with you.
In lock distance. We spent so much fucking time looking at replays tonight, guys. This is obnoxious. Normally I don't spend this much time looking at replays. Alrighty. And that was the Tracer. We're going to report him. Let's see what this is. GM all the way through. Was a diamond. Yeah. We're going to report him though. Wallhack didn't really look like he had. He had that one with that Zen. He actually had two instances with the Zen. He had that one at the end there, but that was a little bit. But then earlier, he was definitely chasing the Zen down. That's iffy. I don't know. That might just be a normal player, but once again, just reporting someone does not get them banned. You don't ban people by reporting them. Blizzard looks at it, they do their job. Whether or not anything even happens of it, don't know. However, a majority of people that I report end up disappearing. I'd say like 19 out of 20 people that I report disappear, and I report a lot of people. Occasionally we get that one that doesn't disappear, and we usually put them on block so I can tell if it's a new character or not. And even then, sometimes blocked characters disappear and they come back as unblocked, which means it's a new Battle.net account. You can't unblock yourself from someone's list. The only way that works is if you have a new account and just happen to have the same name, profile icon, and play the same characters and act just as sus. So, that's pretty rare though for me to block people. I think we had one tonight because I've seen them around, but I'm pretty sure it is a slightly different variant of the same name. Might not even be the same person. We had one guy that I've seen on 5 different accounts called Pluvy. Yeah, I blocked him 5 different times, and he kept coming back with new accounts. And then when I finally told him that I was blocking him and reporting him for ban evasion every time he'd come back, he all of a sudden disappeared, and I'm sure he still plays the game. He had the Ukraine icon called Pluvy, and he'd always act extremely, extremely sus on Soldier. One of the first people that I figured it out, because I saw him all the time, and he's really sus. I was like, maybe something's going on here. Yeah, so they just buy new accounts and they just rename them, because why wouldn't they? Yeah. Such is the state of video games, guys. And I told them about that, which is why you don't ever give them, you don't show them your hand. I told them about that, and then we just never saw them anymore. Oh, that was good. That was good. I actually tweeted about that. That was a good win. Made me feel really good when we found that out. Squelch is temporary, but block is not. Block, they put you put them on your ban list with their battle tag. It's also a way of figuring out someone's battle tag. Boop. Ah, wonderful. Good, good, good. We spent probably more time playing, more time watching replays tonight, guys, than we spent playing the game. And we've also had basically our first game. I don't think we had any cheaters in it. And now every single game we've had 2 cheaters in it. One I thought we had 3, but he was alright. Just normal. It's that bat. Just killed me. Alrighty. Welcome to late night games, guys. Oh no. Ah! Start the hero arc, guys. Right in season 3. Good for them.
You are bold to stand against
on your own. I mean, there's a little bit of an incline there, but that's a pretty big jump. Yeah. So, can you pick out the difference here, guys? Because I can. Well, we'll see.
Such potential for medicine and agriculture.
Sadly, Vishkar agrees.
Not getting good enough fast enough. I need it now. I need to be good now. GM1, done.
Sounds about right.
Well, we'll find out.
1. Attack commencing. Escort and away.
Missed.
I am power.
Feel a rail coming on. Hey, look, guys, rail. What? The fuck did we just watch with... Okay. You guys just see what happened with the Doomfist? He was tracing the Doomfist at Z height behind the wall. Ha! That's the same guy that I actually looked at his account. You can't make this shit up, guys. You literally can't make this shit up. That is the guy's account that I just looked at. No, I know what she wants. She wants to save that Reinhardt. There we go.
My duty is being done.
Yeah.
Bad? I don't.
En route. Checking in. Boosting you. I will not waste
Oh, I should have baited him. That's not good. There we go. He's been trying to res. Yeah. I still understand why this isn't a thing. There should be a doctrine right now from like the top 500 streamers or top 500 OWL players or whatever. The moment you see a Mercy going for res, you kill her. That's very important to kill Mercy. That's resing. Tactically. Oh. Still alive somehow.
Over here.
Look out, Genji. And railgun. Felt like a headshot, but it's not a headshot. No deflect. What he is doing. Yeah. Yeah. The hardest thing in the world, guys, to hit is the fucking ulti Mercy. Oh. That's not good. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Pushing the payload.
Messy, but we got it done. I'm on top of the world. Up and away.
Fire! Normally you can brick the Reinhardt shield, but that doesn't work if like I didn't have full line of sight on him. No. Oh, I fucking survived the Genji blade. Wow, that definitely just went around in a circle and got me. Surprised he didn't keep swinging. He should have kept swinging. We're gonna watch that concussion grenade, by the way. What? Oh, Reinhardt was still on me. Good evening, Edwin. How's your day going, dude? We're having a lot of cheaters tonight. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Very interesting. Mercy. Like, we killed the Reinhardt, and then, yeah, I just wasted the ult on him. Cut.
Much better. Thanks. Hello.
Yeah, that, I eat too late. Waiting for that too.
I'm not done yet.
Oh my god. No one killed him, guys. Killed him. The cheaters, yeah. We're getting 2 per lobby. It's pretty impressive. And this one, I believe, is Sojourn. I'm not playing Sojourn anymore. Hear exactly what's going on there. There we go. Is it Reinhardt? I think might be throwing. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing. Cut. Cool.
30 seconds.
It's time.
Good.
Returning to battle. On the move. Are we moving the payload or what?
10 seconds.
This is our last attack. Give it everything.
Probably gonna try and res him. Because we're trying to help the life weaver that was trying to go help me, and then no one went to the cart because they're all helping the life weaver. We're gonna take a look at McCree here. He was, I think, relatively normal on McCree. Sojourn, he wasn't. Hinder's just what they're memeing about on Reddits. I think the old flashbang was actually worse than this, than the new one. People are saying the new one's worse, but that's because they're actually getting chased by it now instead of the old one. Very intrusive if you played on... Impressive if you played on a fast-moving character. Take a look at that first before I forget about it.
Ready for battle.
I think this was it here. We somehow survived this, guys. Look at this shit. No, it's not. Oh, there it was. I line incited the shit out of that Genji, guys. He had an Ana or a Pharah on him too, not Pharah, Mercy. Yeah, he's getting damage boosted or healed. Look at that shit. Look at that. Like I said, the old nade was worse than this one. Check this out. Beside the fact that we are in close quarters with the Genji and he's missing me. Did hit. And here is the aimbot grenade. Look at it go. Oh, it did actually... No, it didn't actually touch me. Yeah, it latched on at the end there. That wasn't actually... He saw it too. I think that's why he commented on it. For this shit. Didn't actually latch onto me. That's where it actually... then it latched onto me. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Okay. Rewind further. We're going to look at the Sojourn. That's one I thought was cheating. I think was relatively normal. twist, rail. Doing something.
Breaking them down.
Free aim. It was the Doomfist was a really weird one, I'm pretty sure. Maybe that was earlier?
Not your finest hour.
Rez is here. Not.
What am I missing? Stop the payload. Heroes never die. Stop the payload. Heroes never die.
It might have been earlier.
I'm on my game now. This ends.
So no matter how good you can go, oh, he's using surround sound. No matter how good your surround sound, your ability to position people in the game, putting some surround sound in this game isn't very good. Free aim through double walls there. No matter how good your positional audio is and your ability to position someone, there's no Z height. There's no height volume. There's no height volume in the game, so you can't tell how far up and down someone is on a wall, like if they're coming out up here, or they're coming out up here, or they're at ground level, unless they're making footstep sounds. You can't tell, because the game doesn't give the audio to you. It doesn't exist. You can't will it into existence. It doesn't matter how much you try.
The enemy's being revived.
Tracking the Genji right there. I thought that was a double wall, though it wasn't. Sojourn is still a projectile hero, though. And then this is why hit scan will just be superior to her. Doing something again. Is this where he, no. There's one where he's tracing the Doomfist at Z height. I think that's earlier in the game.
The enemy has been revived. We are falling apart.
Ready for battle.
Area denied.
You're already fast forward past it?
Breaking them down. Not so fast. Not so fast. Just what I was looking for.
I think that's what I saw.
I could use some assistance. Just what I was looking for. Railgun powered and ready to fire.
Nothing. The fuck was that?
I could use some assistance.
That looked really weird.
I could use some assistance.
Been aiming it.
I could use some assistance.
I could do. Yeah. Go to hit scan arc. Coming for me. I'm leaning more towards no right now. That looks fucking weird even from his perspective. Shot himself. Good. There's a lot of people that are saying the new grenade is worse than the old grenade. I don't think so. Like, stuff like that would have latched onto me with the old grenade. The hinder grenade. Cream. The Doomfist and the Lightweaver. That'll do.
I'm really feeling it. Wars and Crusaders! Thank you. Thank you, Kyle.
Children, what's interesting, inconclusive. Next game. Waste of time.
From above. Float like a jellyfish, sting like a jellyfish.
Good, good.
I'm on top of the world. Elimination with a set.
Lovely. Alright. See what's going on here, guys. Good, good, good. Happy Wednesdays. Normally we don't have this many reports and we don't want to spend this much time watching replays, but tonight I guess is especial. So I'm sure this game is going to be wonderful as well. Maybe it's my skin. It is a pretty cool skin, I'm not going to lie. Brings all the mercies to the yard. Look, we already got a mercy. No. I don't know why they removed CC from the game in the first place. The problem with Overwatch 2 wasn't CC. It was the double shield, which wasn't really even a meta at the end of Overwatch 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Objective away 30 seconds.
Greetings.
You scared?
Flying the friendly skies. En route. Form up. Over there. Increasing altitude.
Hello.
get some kills here, guys. Overextend a bit. There we go.
Got one.
Oh, we got a kill. Nah, it's not happening, Mercy. Gotta break the morale, guys. They get too hot and bothered if you let them survive with no kills on a wave push. So I got the only kill. Can't let that happen, guys. Morale is important. Well, the kids call it now mental. Yeah, kids love renaming shit that already exists. So they call morale mental. Yeah. Because actually, you know, morale is already a military term. But, you know, kids. That fucking suck range is like super far. Why did you not deflect? I don't know. I need the rest of my health. Okay. I mean. Christ, where the fuck are my shots going, guys? Yeah, I know. Now we want to point out. Boost your mom. we have a very talkative Mercy. No. I love a widow. No way. Hey, buddy. I have 3 kills. I mean, their team also doesn't have that many kills either. So it really means we have good heals? Walking into that. Their healer's also pretty good. We have some very good heals as well. That's not good. I went on the wrong side, guys. We ran out of jets. Actually, my accuracy isn't even that bad. I've been trying to hit directs, which I were missing, but my normal accuracy isn't even that bad. I've been trying to hit the Genji. Peg the Genji.
Oscar Mike to enemy territory.
On the move.
On my way.
Widow keeps... They're probably grouped with someone, is my guess. The Widow keeps placing themselves in the wrong spot.
Enemy over here.
Not for you.
I see an enemy.
I'm inside, I think. He got stuck in the light. Nice. Oh. That was a weird soju? Sensu beam? We're extended too far. All things considered, we aren't even doing that bad, guys. No.
The skies await.
Careful, we're outnumbered.
Mercy's carrying.
Require assistance
Okay.
at my location. The enemy has claimed the robot.
So, the whole reason I did that is she has a teleport, and if she can see me on the map because it alerts them, they can teleport to you.
A Affirmative.
He just killed himself with my rocket.
My ultimate is charging.
Yeah, it looks like that guy, like, he must be in here with the group. Or someone on our team's in with the group that's really low level. No. Okay.
Group up here. Come on, just a little more. Messy, but we got it done.
Why are... I don't understand why people run around the map chasing people. That's still... It doesn't matter what MMR you're at, guys. You still get people that do that. GM doesn't matter. Like, you should just be around the point. You should just go to the point, and if someone's flanking you, you point them out, and then we turn around and you shoot them. Unless you are a flanker yourself, you shouldn't go chasing people around the map. It's silly. Because then you just split our lines up, and then we get torn apart. This guy's a lot more accurate than he was earlier. Knows I'm low on health. Yeah. No, I don't want your laser dick. He's still fucking shooting at me. No, we're gonna go back in. Okay. Bob's still there, guys.
Valkyrie's charging. Hey there. Hello. Enemy over here. Got one here.
No.
On the move.
Your team is close.
Stick with it. We've almost taken the lead.
I see an enemy. Brains from above.
Getting the suck. We're getting the suck. Alright. Whoa, flanking. That guy came and used all his abilities to get near the other chick. Lovely. Kill both their healers, guys. Genji.
Making another approach.
Over there.
Keep an eye out.
Over there.
Gotta take care of that. Very important.
Stay with the robot. We're almost there.
Tactical visor activated.
An ult too. Good. We didn't need it. Good.
We have the lead.
Good, good, good. Alrighty. That's a pretty good mercy. I'm not gonna lie. Very good mercy. They should 100% remove self-healing from No problem. Let's see what they say. We're gonna endorse the Mercy regardless. This is a really good healer. Yeah. But their Moira is almost on par. You can't actually... So, the weird thing is, guys, the game includes self-healing in terms of healing score. So this might include self-healing. So their score might be a lot higher than it actually is. Because Moira does a lot of self-healing when they're doing damage. You can't tell. It's one of the things of this game, just like Zenyatta does not include his orb damage. His debuff orb damage, he does not include it in his damage stats. Actually looks like... Anyways, so like you won't actually, his numbers will seem deceptively low when he actually could be doing a lot of damage. It's one of the things, kind of like the hidden stats in the game. Deaths really don't matter. Anyway, shape, or form, what matters is how well you perform while you're alive. Limbs, deaths, they do matter for tank because they can't impose areas of control and denial if they're dead. They can't apply force and pressure to the enemy team. But most people, it doesn't matter. What matters is their numbers at the end of the game. Obviously, it takes into account, for instance, their saves. There's a lot of stats that aren't included here that should be. Overall healing done to certain players, total damage taken. Killing blows are not here. The limbs are basically assists, and assists I have no idea what they are. Doesn't really make. I think this is if you're healing someone. If they take healing and then they get a hit afterwards, it counts as a limb. For whatever reason, I don't know. Blizzard did some really weird shit when they balanced the game. But anyways, Moira has deceptively large amounts of healing, when in fact this might be majority of which might actually be self-healing, or maybe quarter of this might be self-healing. And you can't tell, because the game doesn't tell you. So it makes it really hard to parse stats. All the healers will have self-healing because they have the passive. So you can't tell, you know, what they might just be healing over time or doing healing to themselves, depending on which hero it is. Kind of deceptive. This guy was pretty bad up until the end when he swapped to Ashe, and then he got good, which is weird, but even then he wasn't really that good. Take a look. No. If it's a Moira, someone's making a TikTok Moira. Always wonderful when you see someone go from basically nothing to everything. Oh. Ah, they're a master. That was Kiriko. Cassidy, that was the Genji that swapped Cassidy at the end, started hitting a lot. That's why I started focusing him, was because he hit all. This guy's more than likely cheating. Yeah. Him. But we don't know because we got limited data. So you only swapped to 40. Yeah, you only swapped at the end, so you can't really tell at all. It's very, very difficult to figure out when Genjis are cheating. Mechanical characters, and they're very fast. But we're gonna get out here tonight, guys. We had some decent games. A lot of our games tonight, we just had cheater. We spend a shitload of time in replays. I don't normally like watching replays because I'd rather play the game than watch a replay, and it's not my job to actually figure out exactly who's cheating and whether or not they're cheating. I'll, within a certain amount of confidence, report people, and that's pretty much it. Then I move on with my life, because you can't ban people. It doesn't matter how much you think they deserve to be banned, or you're sure that they're cheating. Blizzard will come through and look for you and figure out whether or not they're actually cheating or not. So, you know, you reporting someone only matters so much at the end of the day, and you wasting a bunch of your time doing it is also kind of pointless. So, just move on with your life, and then more Gamas. But alrighty, guys, we're gonna call things here tonight, guys. The last game was pretty good. Healer was very good too. You could tell the difference between healers just on how long you can stay alive in the firefights, and they know exactly what's going on in the fight too. very experienced healers are very, very easy to teleport. Actually, we even just tell. Like, that's probably like a life mercy. No. That's probably a mercy lifer. But alrighty, guys, we're going to get out of here for tonight, guys. If you are new to the stream, you enjoyed the bullshit, you enjoyed the fun, you enjoyed all the replays, and watching the cheaters, make sure the follow button in the top right-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner. It depends on which platform you are on. Click the follow button, and yeah. Usually go live every day, guys, from late night to early morning, GMT-6, so 8 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time to 1 to 2 a.m., give or take. Depends on what's going on in my life, what's happening, etc., etc. My timetables have been shifted about 3 hours, so about 11 or 12 till 4-ish is when I stop, so... we're going to call things here tonight, guys. Tomorrow will be more of the OW2s, and maybe some comp, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching my stream, as always, on Kick, YouTube, or Games, Facebook Gaming, if anyone watches that site. Facebook Gaming as well, we're streaming there. But I'm out of here for this evening, guys. Thanks for watching my stream, as always, and I hope you guys have a wonderfully fantastic Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Have a good day, guys.